close to home because of everything like that, and it's just really weird because working at different places, it's really hard to work because certain things just hit home and I don't want to be there. Even at Kmart, seeing little kids at Kmart, it's like, wow, I was accused of beating a 2-year-old a year and a half ago, and I had to fight that as it was, and now I'm being under investigation again because of my actions. The mom.
23-year-old Christopher Fosmer, Warren County Sheriff's Office, Queensbury, New York. He is being questioned about a 3-month-old. He has just volunteered a 2-year-old.
I didn't want her in hell. I didn't want to kill him. I didn't even want to touch him. I really didn't. I just wanted to leave him there. Honestly, I didn't want to fucking touch him anymore.
Did you think that you hurt him?
Yeah.
How?
Just by bouncing him. I've been told that you can crack ribs, that you can punch your ribs, that you can break their neck, that you can, break their spine even, because they're so fragile. And I'm like, just holding him there and just not feeling anything for a couple of seconds, I was like, he's dead. Like, oh my god, like, I just killed a fucking 2-month-old child. Like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my god.
He is not being asked how the 3-month-old was hurt. He is describing it. Both of the infant's collarbones are fractured.
Like this. Just enough to hold him.
I was just going to say, you described that earlier as compressing him.
Compressing him, holding him down. I really hate using compressing, but I mean, it's like the best word to use. I would just hold him down until my hand felt better, and then once it felt better, I would just lean back up and just hold him like that, just keep patting him. I mean, I hate using the word compress because it sounds so dangerous, but it's the only way I know, the best way I can describe it. I would compress his body against mine. Not hard enough to where it would hurt him, but hard enough to where it would be like, okay, you're completely still, you have no movement, you can't move on your own. I have complete control of your body right now. You're completely in my care, you can't move, so you're fine. And then I would lean right back, and I would go right back at it. If I thought my wrist was okay, then it'd be fine. If he started slipping, I would be like, no, come on, down on. And then I would go right back at it. And then I would stop. And then, you okay? Yeah, you're okay, okay. And then it would make him pass out completely. Just make him go right to sleep. And then I would...
He does not know what the X-ray on the detective's desk shows. He does not know that every sentence he speaks about bouncing and compressing is being written down as evidence he is producing against himself.
How to handle kids crying, things like that. Therapy, things like that. There's a lot of things that
I was going through therapy in high school for my anger. And I know I have a really bad anger problem, and I had to walk away.
Is this what happened the last time, too?
No. When I was with Alexis and all that went down, nobody really knows what happened, and I told him all point blank, I'm not the one to look at. If he's 2 years old, he gets hurt, he's a kid. It's not that severe, so apparently somebody hit him hard enough to do that. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that no matter how pissed off I am. I will walk away first. I will not hurt a child because it's not their fault. I would rather fight a full-grown man that can defend himself than to take it out on a fucking 2-year-old or a 2-month-old who can't do anything about it. And that's exactly what I told her. So if you honestly think I hit your fucking son, you have another thing coming. I'd rather have hit you than hit your son. She goes, oh, I thought you didn't hit women. I said, I don't. I said, but it beats hitting a fucking kid any day of the week. So I'd rather lose your respect and be called a fucking woman beater than be called a child abuser.
He has now given this room 3 versions of himself. The 4th version begins with the night the 3-month-old was carried into Glens Falls Hospital. Before this interrogation began, before the door of the interview room ever closed on Christopher Fosmer, there was a 3-month-old boy in South Glens Falls, New York. He has a name. We are not going to say it. He was in his mother's care most of the time. On the night this case begins, his mother went out for the evening. She was gone long enough to walk to a corner store and back. 15 minutes each way. 25 minutes if the store was busy. She left the boy with her boyfriend. That boyfriend, at the time, had held a baby in his arms perhaps 30 times in his life. He had a wrist that gave out. He had, in his own later words, a really bad anger problem. He had, in his own later words, taken therapy for it in high school. And on the night in question, he had already been up for most of 48 hours between shifts, at a Kmart, an argument at a bar, and a breakup that was less than 72 hours old. None of that is a defense. None of that is an accusation. It is the room the boy was left in.
Yeah.
How are you?
Early morning. Yeah.
What, do you work late?
No, I just work every day and I don't get a day off.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes a toll on me after a while when I'm a night owl and I get insomnia, so I don't really...
That's what I figured. I thought maybe you worked the overnight because
No.
it's a 24-hour place.
Actually, Kmart's not 24 hours anymore, believe it or not.
No?
Oh, they closed it at 11.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Wasn't that long ago.
The only place that's open 24 hours now is Walmart in Sarasota.
Oh.
Yep.
The one on Quaker Road's not open 24 hours?
Nope, they changed the hours.
How come?
They said it was driving in certain businesses that they didn't want, that people all hours of the night were coming in, junkies and drug addicts and stuff like that. I guess were stealing left and right at night.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, even working at Kmart right now, I see people come in here. I talked to one of the guys, a security guy there. Someone tried to steal $600 worth of merchandise. Why do you go to a convenience store trying to steal something if you know you're just going to get caught? People don't think the cameras work. Every camera there works, and they're all being watched. It's pointless. Even I'm watched every day. It makes no sense to me. Why would you take so much time out to go somewhere to steal? Just get a job, go buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Jobs are hard to come by, but hey, took me a year and a half to get mine, but I got it.
How long have you worked there?
Let's see, next month will be 24. About 3.5 months. It's not bad. It's a good paycheck.
Are you from the area?
Yes, from Glens Falls, actually.
Is your first name Cliff?
No, but that's my father.
I think. Did you have a relative that was a cop in like Glens Falls years ago?
Probably, yeah.
What was his name? Years ago, back
Honestly,
in
I really,
50s.
I honestly
40s,
really
50s,
couldn't
something
tell
like
you.
that.
I'll probably have to ask my father that one.
For some reason, I looked on their website and I thought there was an older
Oh, probably.
picture of a cop in the 30s or 40s.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
F-O-S-M-E-R.
M-E-R. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe not, maybe.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I got family everywhere.
Now, how old is your dad?
My father, 23, 47, 48, I believe. Well, he could be possibly older, I don't know.
Does he live in Glens Falls?
No, actually,
Fosmer is not aware that the detectives are aware of it. He will bring it up himself, unprompted, 12 minutes into the interview. That is the moment the interrogation begins in earnest, and that is where we are going now. Notice the baseline. He is answering questions he was not asked. The detective asked one thing. Fosmer volunteered 5. This is the voice, open, tangential, unmonitored, that we are going to watch change over the next 3 hours.
well, he could be possibly older, I don't know.
Does he live in Glens Falls?
No, actually, he lives in South Glens Falls right now.
Did he ever live in Glens Falls that you remember?
Honestly, from what I remember of him, he used to bounce around from house to house. He was never really there for me. My mom and my stepdad were there for me more.
Now, where did you grow up?
Glens Falls.
Anywhere in particular?
You guys are actually going to know my stepdad. He was actually in the paper a while ago. 11 Stevens Street. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
By the high school?
Yep.
We know where the street is. We're not familiar with it. What was that all about?
The one where I was this morning where you picked me up, my sister, she went through a nice little encounter with my stepdad. And you guys actually had my stepdad here for a while.
Okay. What was his name?
Fred Robillard. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that case or not.
If it was a Glens Falls case, I might not have had a lot to do with
it.
It
was a Glens Falls case. Yeah. Yep. Because of him, we ended up getting evicted out of our house. My mom lost her job. Homeless for about 2 weeks.
Did you go to school in Glens Falls?
Oh, yeah. I went to Glens Falls for about 9 years. And then once all the BS came out between my sister and my stepdad, we left, well, more or less, had to leave. Got transferred to South Glens Falls. Once I hit 18 in South Glens Falls, I dropped out and never looked back.
What have you been doing since that?
I dropped out at 18, spent a year working with my stepdad. Didn't believe anything my sister said because everyone in my family was telling me different. I don't even know what to believe now. She showed me articles last night that brought me to tears, and this whole entire case is hitting close to home because of everything like that. And I was done with it. I was done with the games, done with the drugs. I mean, she would pop like 13, 14 of her mom's muscle relaxers, and her mom beat the hell out of her for stealing from her. In front of me, I had to carry her up the stairs. I had to take care of her kids. I was the only one taking care of her kids every morning.
Was this right in the village of Whitehall?
Honestly, I really don't know Whitehall that well, but it was like right down the road, kind of like from Family Dollar and the bowling alley and stuff like that. I mean, I really don't know the area too well. Really not from there, but it really wasn't that far away from anything. I mean, you could pretty much walk down there and hit a store within like 10 minutes, I think, honestly.
And that was a year and a half ago?
About a year and a half, 2 years ago, yeah.
So these kids, how many kids were there you were watching?
2.
And one of them ended up with some bruises?
Yes. It was more than bruises. It was more than bruises. It was a broken eye socket, fractured skull, what was it? Dislocated shoulder bone. At one point, I think I was told cracked rib, or broken rib maybe. He couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, couldn't hold anything. They took pictures of him, showed me the pictures of the bruising and everything like that. If they tried to think I was going to crack and admit to something I did because of a couple pictures, they were wrong. Because I didn't admit to anything because I didn't do nothing. Like, I didn't do anything now.
Who showed you the pictures?
One of the investigators. I went up to the investigation office by the Queensbury High School. And I have no idea, I can't even recollect her name, honestly. It was a female, and I can't remember. It was that long ago.
Year and a half?
Yeah, about that. A year and a half, 2 years ago. Yeah, so it was 22? 21? 21, I was with my father. 22. Yeah, I was about 21, 22 when that happened.
So you don't know if it's ever been resolved?
I don't talk to her. And when she tries to contact me, I tell her nicely to leave me alone. I don't want nothing to do with her. She's too psychotic, she's too crazy, and she blames everything on herself. For her having 2 kids, I know where she is right now because of everything that's going on with her. She's constantly harassing her ex-boyfriends, which I'm really good friends with. I see him every once in a while at the bar. We'll talk, we'll chit-chatter, no problem. What I really don't get the most, and what really bothered me the most, and to be honest with you, I really don't understand why I'm going through this right now, but it's all good, is I'm the first one to get looked at. And I broke up with Brittany Thursday. Thursday night? It's a Friday night. I believe it was Friday night. I broke up with Brittany on Friday night, and all of a sudden, everyone's looking at me like I'm a bad guy. Like I did something wrong.
I don't know why you would think that.
I don't know. Brittany told me yesterday she's going right down to the cop shop. Oh, well, I'm going right down to the cop shop. For what? Are you going to have someone arrested?
Notice what he just did. He was asked how many children he was watching. He answered 2, and 1 had bruises. The detective repeats calmly, "Yes." That single word does no work of its own. But into that yes, Fosmer pours the entire inventory of what a 2-year-old boy in his care was found with: a broken eye socket, a fractured skull, a dislocated shoulder, a cracked rib, and the note that the child could no longer walk, talk, or hold anything. He was not asked for any of that. He supplied it.
Oh, well, I'm going right down to the cop shop. For what? Are you going to have someone arrested? Why are you going down there? To file a report? Matt gets a phone call 20 minutes later. Oh, she's blaming you for this. Really? She's blaming me. For what? What did I do wrong? Because I don't want to be with her fucking crazy ass? Because I don't want to be with someone who's psychotic? I have more stuff to worry about. She lost her job. Lost her job within 2 weeks. Now, if you want to be a mom and you want to step up and take care of your kids, by all means, do you. I'm all for it. I wanted to help her out. We were on the verge of getting an apartment together. She was doing great at work. and now all of a sudden she has no job, she still wants an apartment, and now the baby got injured from bouncing from house to house to house. And what I don't understand is that last week I picked the baby up by myself and brought the baby to my sister's house. Excuse me. Brought the baby to my sister's house, where my sister was, no less, after she got out of work, and Brittany stayed there for a week with us. And my sister can even vouch for that. There for a week. She didn't do anything for a week. No dishes, didn't pick up after herself, constantly left the baby on the floor. But yet, hey, can you go pick the baby up from my aunt's house? What time? 10 o'clock at night? You want a 2-month-old out in this kind of weather at 10 o'clock at night? Really? You're a kid. Whatever, not gonna argue, bud. Sure, I'll go pick him up. No problem. Picked up the baby, got back to the house. It was all fine. She trusted me then, but yet I'm left alone in the house for 20 minutes to take care of the baby while her and Matt walk to the store to get cigarettes and whatever have you, and I come back looking like I'm the bad guy because I was left alone with the baby for a whole 20 minutes. But yet when I'm left alone with the baby for an hour and a half to walk from Glens Falls to South Glens Falls, it's all good. I don't understand that.
What do you mean by that? When was that?
This is the first defensive frame he tries on. Not, I didn't do it. The frame is, I am the one who keeps getting unfairly looked at.
Good. I don't understand that.
What do you mean by that? When was that type of thing where you were an hour and a half?
Because I think her name's Wendy, I'm not exactly sure, but her aunt or whatever have you, I guess, are really good friends enough to be considered aunt and niece or whatever. 9 Grant Street, I believe, in Glens Falls, is where the baby was. I had no idea where the baby was. At home, I was walking home, no less. Can you pick the baby up? What time? About 9:30, 10 o'clock. Tonight or in the morning? Tonight. What time do you plan on getting out of work? I'll probably be out around 10:30, 11 o'clock. Okay, no problem. Why can't you do it? Well, the car that I'm driving in really isn't safe enough for the baby and da-da-da and this and other thing. Okay, whatever, I really don't care. Yeah, I'll go pick the baby up. I walked all the way from the house, picked the baby up, walked all the way back to my sister's house by myself with the baby. No questions were asked, no nothing, baby was fine. She asked how the baby was. Told her fussy. He was crying most of the way. I didn't have anything to feed him because she didn't have anything in the thing, and I was like, you have everything that the baby needs. I have nothing. I picked the baby up. The only thing he had was a bottle, a little bit of formula, and that was it. I can't make a bottle out of nowhere in the middle of the street. I have no water source. You know, I can't just spit in a bottle and go, here, drink that. So I was like, I couldn't make him a bottle. I checked his diaper. He was fine. He was a little wet. Right there, we could wait till we get back to the house to change him, which I did. Wait till we get back to the house, changed him, sat there with him for a little bit, and he was completely fine, completely content.
When was this?
Last week. This is why I don't understand why I'm here. Because last week I was fine, and now, because I don't want to be with Brittany all of a sudden, I'm here. I don't understand that. Honestly. This is what's driving me nuts. Because I dealt with it a year and a half ago because I was left alone with 2 children. They were 2-year-old, okay? 2-year-olds throw stuff. They have temper tantrums. That's why they're called terrible twos. Last time I checked, that's why 2-year-olds act the way they do. Because they're still growing up. She's telling everyone that the baby's teething at 2 months old. Putting Oreo in the baby's mouth at 2 months old. I wouldn't do that, honestly. The baby shouldn't be teething at all. Not at 2 months. I mean, I'm not a father. I don't never had my own kids. I mean, she's got 3 of them. But yet only has control of 1 right now. Because of everything in her past.
What time did they leave Thursday?
Thursday in the evening, I believe.
He has now given the detectives 3 things they can verify. He broke up with the mother on Friday. The mother told him she was going to file a police report. And, in a phrase he uses so casually you could miss it, the baby got injured. Not the baby was hurt in an accident. Not something happened. The baby got injured. He is naming the outcome the detectives already have on paper.
In the evening, I believe. I was out of work. I get out of work at 6.
Is that your regular work routine? Is it 8 to 6 or something?
No, I normally go to work from 1 to 6. I only do about 5 or 6 hours there. And I've been trying to help out a couple people on the side, trying to make more money on the side and stuff.
But on Thursday, you ended up at her house at about what time?
Thursday, I got out at 7 because I stayed an hour late. Got to Matt's house around probably 7:15, 7:20, because it takes me a couple minutes to get everything ready and punch out. So about 7:15, 7:20, I got to the house, and I would have to probably say it was around like 8:30, 9 o'clock. She wanted to go get cigarettes. She wanted me to walk with her, but I really didn't want to because my kneecap was really hurting me from work. I didn't want to go. Told her I didn't want to go. And she started fussing about it, and Matt said, okay, well, you can stay here, watch the baby, me and you go. And I said, yeah, that works out. I'll stay here, watch the baby, spend the time with the baby, and that way you guys can walk to the store and walk back. And I asked Matt how come he doesn't just go up to Hess. And he said, well, I've been walking up and down hills all day. I don't want to walk up and down hills anymore. I'd rather just walk straight and walk there. Okay, no problem. It took him about a half hour, almost 45 minutes to get back, which kind of really bothered me because it doesn't take that long to get there and get back.
What? You got out at 7 that night?
Yeah.
Now, do you walk or drive?
I walk.
So you walk from Kmart
To
the
Matt's
Boulevard?
house. Yeah.
Is it Matt's house or is it her house?
It's Matt's house. She's not even supposed to be there. She's not on the lease at all. And Tom's already told Matt, which is Matt's landlord, that if she's there, Matt will get evicted. And Matt's been freaking out because he has nowhere else to go. His marriage is what it is right now. I mean, he barely sees his wife. And she is driving him up the wall. He's already told me that he can't handle it no more.
Does he work?
No. He's has cystic fibrosis. He can't do anything.
Now, as far as you and this girl go, where did you meet her?
I've actually been longtime friends with her. I've known a lot of her family, a lot of her friends. We actually grew up together. Well, not really grew up together per se, but a lot of people that I know, she knows very well. A lot of people that go to the bar Thursday and Friday night, you ask anyone, you know, any of my friends who I am, they can point you out right to me. You know, be like, oh, that's him. The Daily Double.
Do you go there?
Yes, I do.
Does she go there too?
Yes, he does.
Did you meet her? Did you go to school
No,
with her?
actually, I really can't recall how I met her. It was a long time ago. Honestly, we never really hung out that much, and I really can't even recall how we started hanging out more. I've always had a small crush on her. I thought she was a good girl.
Every fact he cites to prove his trustworthiness is a fact that puts him alone with the 3-month-old for an extended period of time. He is not, at this point, aware he is doing that.
I've always had a small crush on her. I thought she was a good girl, you know, whatever have you, and thought she was great to be around, but next thing I know, come to find out, I'm wrong. Completely wrong. She's early psychotic, she's bipolar, she needs pills, she needs counseling, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as a mom, I can't knock her as a mom. I really can't. She's there for her kids when she gets a chance to be there for her kids. But the whole entire work ethic and house ethic, personally, she lost her job because of all the appointments and everything like that that she's supposed to be had, and she wants an apartment. Well, for you wanting your apartment, you need a job. You need a job, you need money. And you go back and forth to work. She wasn't happy with that, and that's what more or less made me break up with her, honestly. And I can't even recall when we even started dating. It was probably about maybe a month and a half ago tops, if that. I mean, we were off and on because she's crazy. I could say one comment to her and she flips out. But yeah, it's okay for her to flirt with other guys and not expect me to get mad.
What gets her angry?
Anything and everything, honestly. The saddest part is when I told her that I had a 12-pack of glazed donuts for her, and I didn't bring them home because they wouldn't fit in my book bag. And she called me an asshole for it.
What day was that?
Tuesday of last week.
She hands-on, is she, when she gets mad?
She knows her little secrets that no one else knows. So when you cross the line, if she can't go to the store to get cigarettes, it's my fault.
When is the last time you actually had to restrain her like that?
Probably last Wednesday or last Thursday, because we got into a small argument in the house.
As in like 5 days ago?
About that, yeah. She wanted to have sex after I got out of work, and I told her I was too sore and too tired to. And she looked right at me and she goes, "Are you going to be spending the weekend with me?" I said, "Most likely, yeah." She says, "What do you mean, most likely?" I said, "Well, I don't know what's going on yet, and I want to go out with my sister this weekend." She didn't like that, because she wanted to go out that weekend. So we compromised. I went out Thursday night with my sister, had a great time, walked home with my sister, no problem, no nothing. No phone calls, no text messages. There wasn't a care in the world for me and my sister that night. Friday night, me and Brittany and Matt and Emily all go out to the bar, and all hell breaks loose. Some guy I don't even know she gets into an argument with. He storms out of the gate. She walks inside the bar, all pissy. Comes in front of me, tries to yank me away from one of my friends, pulls me by the arm, tells me, "You need to come here now," and yanks on me. I had two of my friends hold me back, saying, "No, he's not going with you anywhere. You need to leave him alone. You need to leave him alone. He doesn't want to be with you. You need to leave him alone and back off." And she still has me by the wrist, no less. Still by the wrist. Yanking on me, pulling on me. "You need to come talk to me." All my friends are holding me back. "No, you need to leave him alone. You need to leave him alone. Back off. Go away." And everyone's telling him this. Even one of the bouncers at the bar could tell you she was getting out of hand.
And that was Friday.
And that was Friday night.
Thursday was...
Thursday night, I don't know what she was doing Thursday night, because I left Matt's house around 8:30, 9 o'clock.
The detective asked one clean question. When was the last time he had to restrain her? What returns is a monologue in which Fosmer is never violent, never the aggressor, always the person other people are protecting. Fosmer is showing us who he wants the room to think he is. That construction, the man who is being restrained rather than the man doing the restraining, will hold for the next 20 minutes.
I don't know what she was doing Thursday night, because I left Matt's house around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Got back to my sister's house around 10:30, because I hooked it, because I had the iPod, thank God. And I waited for my sister to get home. She got home, and we went out to the bar.
Is that the night she went for the walk to Cumbies to get cigarettes? Was that Thursday or Wednesday?
That I believe was Thursday, because that was the night I left to go meet up with my sister.
Okay, so
And that was
Tuesday,
Thursday night.
she was mad something about donuts?
Yeah, because she has a thing for glazed donuts. I don't understand why, but she does. She's obsessed with them.
Mm-hmm.
You tell her you have glazed donuts for her, she's your best friend.
You bring them from the bakery over there?
Every once in a while, the women over there, when they're a couple days before expiration, they'll leave them out, and they'll be like, "Chris, if you want to take them home, we're just going to throw them out in a couple days anyway, you're okay with it, you had clearance, you're all good, and they're just going to get thrown out, So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem, I thank them all the time. I'm like, well, I don't want you guys to get in trouble, for giving me something that's off the shelf, like, Chris, between 24 and 48 hours, they're going to be in the garbage anyway, so whether you buy them or not buy them, we're throwing them out, regardless. So just take them, get rid of them, do whatever you want to do, eat them, whatever, they're still good. Take them home, whatever. All right. Well, I forgot them. Told her, yes, I had them, but I forgot them. Was going to bring them, but they wouldn't fit in the book bag, so I left them there. Was going to go back and grab them before I punched out, and I forgot about them. I'm sorry. Whatever. You don't care. You don't love me then. Whatever.
So you leave, if you could be a little more precise, like times that you left and when you got... Who was there when you told her you didn't have the donuts? Was there anybody else there?
I think Matt was there. I'm not exactly sure. And if he was, I really don't think he heard it.
And the baby?
Baby, I believe.
That is the baseline. This is how he speaks, when he is not under pressure, fast, tangential, self-exonerating, and full of names. Remember the fast, remember the tangents. In an hour, when the detective returns to what happened on Wednesday, both of those are going to change.
Baby, I believe... I believe the baby was in a car seat. No, the bouncer. She's been putting that baby in that bouncer a lot. I believe the baby was in the bouncer, and she was sitting in the corner chair in Matt's house. I had gotten out of work at 6:30, so I only stayed there for about a half hour. Walked to the house. Walked to the house. Got there. In 15-20 minutes, that leg was really bothering me. Got there. Told Matt that I had some garbage bags for him if he needed them, so I'm not to worry about it. I think he went outside. I'm not exactly sure. I really can't remember. So I didn't stop drinking. She was in the chair. Told her that I had donuts for her, but I forgot them.
Did she freak out on you?
No, she got all mad and huffy and puffy and just didn't talk to me.
She didn't come at you though?
No, the only time she pretty much does that is when, like, she thinks it's funny to fool around. And she'll come over to me and she'll, you know, start nitpicking at me and start trying to tickle me in the side or something. And I'm like, babe, you know, stop. You know, I really hate being tickled there. And she's like, oh, come on. I'm like, babe, you really need to fucking knock it off. And she's like, wow, what's your problem? I'm like, you know I don't like being tickled there. You know, it hurts. I have rib problems. Will you fucking knock it off? Whatever, be all fucking pissy then. I'm like, I'm not being anything, you know, and then she'll bite my neck thinking it's funny. I'm like, babe, that's not funny either. What, it's not your ribs? No shit.
She was a little mad about the donuts not being there.
Yep.
What was the rest of that night? How did all that go?
Okay, I mean, she doesn't really flip out that bad, but she does. It's just weird. She has her moments where she can be completely fine, and then she just gets all irate for no reason.
What time did you leave that night?
Probably around 9, 10-ish.
Everything was good when you left?
Yeah.
Where was the baby?
Baby, I believe... If I'm not mistaken, the baby was on Matt's bed, sleeping with the bottle, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because Matt was in the chair. Me and her were on the couch, told her I had to leave. She got all upset, all huffy puffy, whatever.
What was she upset about?
Because I told her I had to leave. It's really weird, because I told her I want another nighttime job so I can make more money. She was all mad about that.
Is that the night she wanted to have sex?
She told me, yeah. She said that she planned on having sex all weekend long. She's like, well, what are you doing all weekend? I'm like, I don't know, why? She's like, well, I plan on getting laid all weekend. I was like, must be nice to be you. So I'm a little fucking sore and tired by it. I don't perform on demand, dude. Like, sorry and shit. I don't. And she's like, whatever, fine. I'm just gonna find someone who does. Whatever, fine, go ahead. Well, you really don't love me that much.
She told you all that?
Yeah. I believe so.
So when you left, the baby was on the... Can you see the bed from where you guys were sitting?
No. No.
It's in a separate room?
Yes. That's what really bothered me the most. So I told her I really didn't like the baby sleeping in Matt's bed because I really couldn't tell if the baby was okay or not. And she'd always tell me, don't worry, the baby's fine, don't worry, I can hear the baby, you know, I have great hearing, you know, I can hear anything when the baby cries, you know, I'm always right there. Okay, whatever, your kid, I'm not going to fucking fight, I'm not going to argue, I'm not going to bitch, I'm not going to moan. It's your kid. She told me point blank, face to face. Well, you know, they're my kids and I'll take care of them however I want to. Really? Well, if they're around me and they need to be disciplined and they tell me to go fuck myself, I'm going to go put them in the corner. Hate to tell you, but I'm going to put them in the corner.
Sure.
I'm not going to hit them. I'm not going to discipline them. Because last time I checked, you can touch a child abuse. I'm good. I'm set. Stay in the corner. That's how I was raised. If you got in trouble, your ass is standing in the corner.
Do you ever watch any of her other kids?
Nope. She doesn't have her other kids. She does not have her other children. At all. She does not have her other son or her daughter. For what reasons? Honestly, I could not tell you because I was not there. I don't know. I don't want to know. She got them taken away for whatever reason, and that is on her. I was there after all that went down. Not included in nothing or any of it. Don't know, don't care, not my business. The only thing I care about is Cole. That's the only thing I care about. Is making sure that everything goes down right for him. And she told me, you're not the father. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, no problem. But yet, she calls up John, who is...
Notice the frame. Fosmer establishes Matt as the good father figure, the one who never wants to let the baby go. He needs Matt to be that person in the room, because it makes his own role in the story less central. It also creates a comparison that will come back later, the good dad frame versus what the room is about to hear.
You don't need to worry about it. Okay, no problem. But yet, she calls up John, who is supposedly the baby's dad, and starts yelling at him and cursing him out, telling him that we need formula, that we need diapers, we need wipes. And she gets all huffy puffy, starts cursing him out on the phone. I even have his number in my cell phone, saved for her. And her friend Amanda, saved for her. That she can call anyone that she needs. But it's not good enough. Wasn't good enough then, ain't good enough now. She couldn't get any help from him until she apologized. She didn't want to apologize, so I manned up and I did it for her. So John, this is her boyfriend Chris. We need stuff for the baby. Do you mind helping? No problem, not at all. Cool. That's all he wanted was to be asked. Not yelled at, not talked down to, not cursed at, just simply asked.
What's his last name?
I don't know. I couldn't... Miller?
Does he live around here?
Honestly, I never met him. I don't know anything about the guy. I never met him.
So you leave Tuesday and you walked home?
Yes, I always walk home.
Grant Avenue or South Glens Falls?
South Glens Falls. Grand Avenue was where the baby was when I had to go pick him up. Which I really don't think was fair of me to have to go pick him up, but whatever.
It's a pretty long walk, isn't it?
It is.
To South Glens Falls from there?
It is. And that's what I told her. She's like, well, can you pick the baby up at 9:30, 10 o'clock? I'm like, really? Are you serious? Like, I'm working right now. You haven't worked in a fucking week. You sleep all day.
What was the last job she had?
Wendy's. She just recently got fired from Wendy's about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, if that.
She worked there long?
No. She didn't last a month.
Did Mishenko ever work at Wendy's?
Nope. He, as far as I know, the only job that he's ever had was years ago, and it wasn't even in the same county.
Mm-hmm. What was your Wednesday like?
Wednesday was good. Wednesday was fairly okay. I got out of work.
What time did you go into work?
1, like usual. I try to leave my sister's house between 11:30 and 12 because it takes about an hour and 10 minutes to get there roughly, depending on what way I walk there. So I normally leave between 11:30ish and 12. Get up between 11. Walked to work, got there fine. Had a good day at work, surprisingly. I think she stopped in. Her and Matt stopped in, I believe, on Wednesday.
To have a baby?
With the baby.
No.
So who would have had it done?
Probably Margot and Kevin from next door. Because they like to babysit every once in a while for her. Because Margot likes things.
The audience did not need to know that Fosmer holds an infant's head to keep it from moving. The detective did not ask. Fosmer told him. This is the third time in 20 minutes that Fosmer has, without prompting, described his own physical management of the boy's body. Watch how many more times he does it before he notices what he is telling the room.
From next door. Because they like to babysit every once in a while for her. Because Margot likes spending time with the baby and stuff like that. So they go over to the next door neighbors, ask them to watch the baby while they come and visit me at work. with me not even knowing anything about this, and I've been yelled at more than once for them coming to the job, and I keep telling them that they can't just show up randomly. They gotta wait for me to let them know when I'm on break. She doesn't care. She'll walk right in there, find me. I'll be cleaning something up. Oh, well, can you go smoke a cigarette? No, I'm busy right now. I'm working.
What time did they show up?
Randomly. They'll show up in...
What time? Sometime between 1 and 6, right?
I was on break at 3. I went on break at 3, and they showed up probably around 3:30ish. I went outside with them for a half hour, smoked a couple of cigarettes with her, told her I had to go back to work. She got all pissy, and she likes to play that one-sided kissing game where she thinks it's funny to constantly want to kiss, and won't let me go until she gets one, and then it's another one, another one, another one, another one. I'm like, I really gotta go. Whatever, fine. Yeah. See where this is gonna go. Okay. And then I'm like, Matt, I gotta go back to work. He's like, yep, I know. He's even yelled at Brittany. Brittany, he's gotta go back to work. We gotta go. You know, he's even told her, he's gotta go. You know, it's 4 o'clock, but, you know, we gotta leave. You know, he's gotta go back to work. She doesn't want to. You know, she never wants to leave, but she does. She'll leave. And I'm like, okay, well, who's got the baby? Oh, well, you know, they're next door, or so-and-so's got him, or he's here, or whatever.
Where did she say the baby was?
I think she told me Margot's, I believe. And I asked her where the baby was, and I was like, okay, so where's the baby? And if I'm not mistaken, I think she said that Margot was watching them for a couple of minutes while they came and visited. And she was going to go back to Margot's to roll a couple of cigarettes, pick the baby back up from Margot's, and go back over to the house and wait for me to get out of work. So I got out on Wednesday.
Did she ask if you were going to come over?
No, she just expects me to. She'll just give me that look like, you're going to come over, right? That kind of look, and I'm like, I guess so. And then she'll be like, uh-huh. And then she'll walk away. Matt will ask me, yo, you going to come over after work? Most likely, yeah. Okay. Well, door will be unlocked. We'll probably be home. Okay, no problem.
So you get out at 7 that night?
I believe so, yeah.
Walked over there?
Yep.
What happened when you got there?
Nothing. It was all hunky-dory. Everything was all fine. No problems, no nothing. She had the baby. Matt was holding the baby for a little bit. I was sitting on the couch with her. No problems, no nothing. She had the baby. Matt was holding the baby for a little bit. I was sitting on the couch with her, smoking a couple of cigarettes, and baby was fine. Baby had no problem. Sleeping, everything. Woke up every once in a while. Of course, being a 2-month-old, crying, freaking out. And, of course, I say the same thing every time I always say. He's probably hungry or needs a diaper changed. Yep, probably right. I know I am, because he's been sleeping for a while. He probably needs a diaper change, or probably he's hungry. You want to feed him, baby? If you want me to, sure. I don't care. I'll feed the baby, sure, whatever. So she'll give me the baby, or give Matt the baby, or she'll take the baby, and one of the three of us will feed him. And then one of the three of us will change him, and he'll be fine. She'll put him in the jumper or the car seat, and rock him back and forth until he goes back to sleep again.
Was the baby crying when you got there?
No.
Matt was holding the baby?
I believe so, yeah. Matt was holding the baby. I asked him how the baby was doing. He says, fine. Baby looked fine to me. Baby looked okay. And I said, okay, well, you know, you want me to take him for a little bit so, you know, you can, you know, relax your arms or whatever, sit down and relax. And for him having a disease that could kill him, he'd be a really good dad. Because he does not let that baby out of his sight, out of his arms. He pretty much fights with Brittany to hold the baby. When he wants to hold that baby, he wants to hold that baby. He does not like letting go of that baby at all.
Does she ever try to,
no.
like a tugging match, like, you know, I want...
No, as far as I know, she'll just get up and, you know, you know, as far as I can tell, she thinks it's fine to play around with him and whatever, and she'll be like, oh, well, it's my baby and whatever, and if I want him, I can have him, and Matt's like, yeah, well, you know, who's got the baby right now? I do, and da-da-da, you know, they'll go back, and, you know, they think it's funny to argue, and I mean, I gotta admit, it is kind of funny because she gets all mad because Matt won't give the baby up, and it's kind of like, by the time you're a kid and you're holding him more than she is right now.
How does she get the baby back?
Matt will be like, oh, well, if you're not going to stop bitching, here you go. You know, he'll be like, here's the baby. And she'll be like, thank you. She'll take the baby back, sit down with me, and then she'll be like, she'll hold the baby and whatever, feed the baby or whatever, and then, I'll look over, I'll be like, no, he's content, he's fine, there's nothing wrong with him at all, And I'm like, why wouldn't you just Matt finish watching, a movie holding him, Because I want to hold my baby. Okay.
I'm not sure if I misunderstood you.
Hold your baby, bud.
A little while ago, did you say the baby was fidgety that night?
Oh, fine that night. He was a little fussy and stuff because he's a normal 2-year-old. But, I mean, Matt takes care of that baby 110%.
When did he become fussy?
And just every once in a while when he wakes up. I guess
so
he's been saying his baby's been eating.
7:30, you walk in. I'm just trying to...
7:30, roughly get there around 7:15, 7:30-ish.
Matt's got the baby.
Matt's got the baby. She's on the chair. Well, couch, whatever you want to call it.
Baby's fine.
Baby, completely fine. Completely fine. No problems, no nothing. I have noticed, though, every once in a while, even with Brittany, with myself, with Matt, no matter who holds the baby, when the baby's sleeping and you move just right, he likes to move his head around a lot, which really bothers me a lot because nobody really holds his head. And he'll roll his head over like this, and it's kind of like, okay, well, I think his neck's going to snap or something, so I'll hold him in place. And then Brittany's like, you really can't do that. I'm like, why? She's like, because, he needs to, be able to move. I'm like, he's rolling around like a fucking bobblehead, bud. Like, I'm not going to stand here and let the baby's head go backward and fucking forward and smack off my chest. It ain't happening. Oh, that's fine. He'll be fine. Really? That's normal to you?
Everything Fosmer says here is designed to make the mother look neglectful. And to be clear, some of what he is describing may be true. That is not. Our concern is that every one of these observations positions Fosmer as the reasonable adult in the room. He is not saying, I hurt the baby. He is saying, I am the one who kept noticing what was wrong. That is a very specific defensive posture.
That's fine. He'll be fine. Really? That's normal to you? I don't think that's normal. Last time I checked, that wasn't normal. But, okay, whatever. I'll do whatever you say. I'll treat the baby just like you want me to.
Was that conversation that night, or was that another
day? It's 24/7. It's an everyday, whenever I have the baby, it's an everyday thing. Every time. If she doesn't like how I'm doing something, she'll correct me. With a quickness. Well, you're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. You need to stop doing this with the baby. Well, if you did this, the baby doesn't need this. The baby doesn't need that. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know that's not what you wanted. I'm sorry. She's like, oh, well, feed the baby. Okay, how many ounces? Really? You've been taking care of the baby for how long now and you still don't know? Well, you guys been going fucking back from 6 to 8 to 7 to 9 to 12. I don't know what the fuck you're feeding the baby. What number? 6. Okay, no problem. What really upset me the most is that feeding the baby milk, some syrup stuff, and a thing of baby formula really got to me. Because the baby was giving us dirty diapers. Almost on a regular. Like, constantly. And I was like, sweet, okay, cool. Caramel syrup or something like that, I think.
Caramel syrup.
Caramel syrup. That's what she was using.
Black colored stuff.
It was clear, kind of like clear. I want to say you took like pancake syrup and took the black out of it. That's what it looked like. And she stopped using that for some reason. I don't know why, but she did. She went right from milk and caramel syrup and a little bit of baby formula to straight out water and baby formula. And now all of a sudden the baby has some shit in like 2 or 3 days at a shot. Will not do it at all. But yet has little pebbles coming out every once in a while. I don't understand that. I don't understand why you would switch from one thing to another. Why would you go from feeding your baby milk and caramel syrup and having dirty diapers on a regular to changing it to just straight up formula and water? That's what I don't understand. That's what really bothered me because I was like, you can't do that to a fucking kid. You cannot do that to a baby. Well, it's my baby, I can do whatever I want. Whatever, but I'm tired of fucking arguing with you. Tired of it.
So getting back to Wednesday.
It was...
you sat on the couch and had a cigarette with her?
Yes, I did.
And Shanko was holding the baby. Baby was okay?
Baby was fine.
What happened as the night went on? What happened?
As the night went on, baby was fine. Crying every once in a while from being hungry. Dirty diaper, peed a lot. Got changed.
Who changed the baby?
Peed a lot. Got changed.
Who changed the baby?
I changed the baby, I think, twice. Matt changed him a couple times. I think Brittany changed him a couple times. We all take turns changing the baby, holding the baby, doing whatever.
That's the night they went to Cumbies?
Yep, I believe so, yes.
How did all that come about?
Because she was bitching me out for smoking all her cigarettes, like she normally does. When I don't even know how she can afford a fucking pack of Newports when they're $10 a pop. So I was like, thinking to myself, how do you always have Newports? But I'm not going to start an argument with that because it's just not worth it. And she said, babe, I want to go, let's go to the store so I can get cigarettes. If you're going to smoke them all, let's go so I can go a bit more. Babe, I don't want to go. I really don't want to go. Well, why not? My fucking kneecap hurts. Do you not understand that? I don't want to go. And then Matt would be like, Matt came out with, okay, well, if he doesn't want to go, me and you can go, and he can stay here and watch the baby. I said, there you go, you bitch about me not spending enough time with the fucking child and you. Why don't you leave me here with the baby? I can take care of the kid for you. You guys can come back. It's a stress reliever for you. Think fucking twice, smart one. Why not? She just didn't want it. She did not. No, I want to spend time with my man. I want to spend time with my boyfriend. Matt, you're fine with the baby. I want to spend time with my man. Well, I want to spend time with the baby. So can you and Matt go, please, so I can spend time with him? Fine, I guess so. They came back. She was wondering what was wrong with the baby. I said nothing. Baby was fine. Baby was on my chest, sleeping. No problem. And I said, what's this mark on his shoulder? She says, what mark? I said, there's a mark on his shoulder. She goes, oh, it must be from his car seat or from his bouncer. I said, okay. I didn't think twice about it. I really didn't. Did not honestly think twice about it. She had the baby more than I did. I barely go over to the house because I can't stand being around Matt's wife, let alone the way the house is. And I told her that I'm not going to be around at the house if she's going to be there, and I'm not going to be there if the house is going to be destroyed. And I told her that point blank to her face, and I told Matt to his face. I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm not going to be in a house where there's nothing but fucking fruit flies. How can you subject your child to that? There's nothing but flies around because of her fucking guinea pig that she's never there to take care of anyway. And yet, Brittany has no problem taking care of.
Here is the moment the timeline pivots. The mother's account and Fosmer's account agree on this. She left. Her boyfriend Matt left with her. Fosmer stayed. Fosmer had the 3-month-old. The window that ends at Glens Falls Hospital begins right here.
Fucking guinea pig that she's never there to take care of anyway. And yet, Brittany has no problem taking care of that house to make sure that her child's a lot better. And she wonders why I don't come over. Matt got out of the hospital on Monday. It took me until Wednesday to go over there. It took me 3 days to go over there. When I knew he was out of the hospital, Monday.
What time did they leave for Cumbies?
I'd probably say around like 8:30.
And then Matt handed the baby over to you?
Well, Matt gave her the baby, and Matt was getting ready. She had the baby for a little bit. And I said, okay, well, if you're going to the store, then give me the baby. And she goes, okay, no problem. She handed me the baby. She got ready, and they left.
What was the baby wearing?
A onesie, like usual. Just a onesie and a diaper. If even a onesie at all.
What do you mean?
Well, can you remember if it was in pajamas or if it was just a diaper?
I believe he has a onesie on. I believe. Because he really wasn't that hot out that day. And I really didn't like him being in a onesie if it was really hot.
Mm-hmm. Did you have to change him at all?
Yeah, I had changed him a couple of times. I think I changed him 2 or 3 times when they were gone. My cell phone was off, so I couldn't call him or anything like that. I haven't had a phone in like a week and a half.
2 or 3 times in 45 minutes?
Yeah, he really does pee a lot. Seriously, like, he really does. You can ask anyone. That baby pees a lot. It's almost like every 15, 20 minutes he will pee in that diaper. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. And I even told her, and he's like, and she goes, okay, you know, how many times you change the baby? I said 2 or 3 times. She goes, you feed that much? I said, well, you guys have been fucking feeding him almost, you know, every half hour. Yeah, he's got to pee that much. So he's not been giving me dairy diapers at all. He's just been peeing a lot. Why is that? Oh, it's probably just a formula. Okay. I'm going to leave it.
There is a mark on the shoulder. Fosmer's explanation is the car seat. The detectives have hospital imaging on the same shoulder region, the collarbones, that are fractured on both sides. The word mark is doing a lot of work here.
Why is that? Oh, it's probably just a formula. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. Whatever, baby's fine. Here you go. Take the baby back. And that was it. That was the night. I left and went home. And that was it.
When they left, who had the money, her or Andrew, to get cigarettes?
I think Matt had the money.
Did she hit you up for money?
I don't get paid until Friday, so I don't have any money on me until Friday.
Was she mad that you were smoking her cigarettes?
Not so much mad, but I think she was more mad because I didn't ask, more or less, and I think she wanted me to ask her. But whenever I have cigarettes, she doesn't have to ask me for them. She just goes in there and takes it, which really bothers me.
So when they left, you really don't know who was going to pay for them, right?
I didn't even know she had money. She just told me, babe, if you're going to smoke on my cigarettes, I got to get more. Okay.
So they go, you had the baby.
I had the baby for almost a good half hour, 45 minutes. I mean, it was amazing how long it took them.
Diaper and a onesie?
I believe so, yeah.
Is there air conditioning in the house or fan?
Air conditioning in Matt's room. There's only one. And there's one fan in the house, and that's in the living room. And that's it.
Was that running then?
It's always
air
on.
on?
Yeah, it's always on. It's always
cool the whole apartment down?
Not really. Honestly, no. She sleeps in Matt's bed with a baby, which I really don't think is appropriate. I told her that many times. And even Matt's told her.
I've almost lost control of the baby 3 times. That sentence just entered the room. The detectives did not have to draw it out. Fosmer walked it in the door.
So you've got the baby.
I had the baby for about half hour, 45 minutes.
Did you feed the baby at all?
I tried to make the baby a bottle, but he wouldn't take it. He wasn't hungry.
When you were making the bottle, where'd you put the baby?
Put the baby down on the couch, snuggled him up in the biggest blue blanket that's always on the couch, and he had a donut pillow around him. And that's what she uses. She said it's fine, that you can leave him like that while you go make a bottle, it's not going to take you that long, it's whatever. So I said, okay, no problem. I didn't think it was right, but it's not my kid. I'm only going to listen to the mom as so far as I can, you know. So I was like, alright, no problem. So I put the baby down, curled him up, completely wrapped him up, and I put the pillow behind his head, lifted him up so that way his head was on the pillow, and that way his body was inside the pillow. So if he tried to roll, he could get stopped, just in case. And I try to be as fast as I can. I don't like to microwave the bottle at all. It takes too long. So I turn the hot water on, let that go for a little bit, and when I think it's appropriately enough to where the microwave would do, I put the bottle, fill it up with about 6.5 ounces of water, take about 2 or 3 scoops of formula out, shake it up, give it to the baby. No problem. Well, I made the baby the bottle that night, and he did not want it at all. Did not want it. He didn't want to lay there. He didn't want the bottle. I tried giving him a pacifier. He didn't want the pacifier. I don't know what his problem was, but he was just really cranky.
What's really cranky? I mean, cranky when I hear
cranky,
that,
like screaming like so loud it could shatter a window. Like that cranky. Like it was so loud, it was like, wow, like ear-blowing pitch noise. And I asked her, how come he's doing that? She goes, oh, probably a bad gas built up.
Did you call her or something and say?
No, I had to wait for her to get back.
So how long was the baby cranky?
About 15, 20 minutes. I was trying to burp him. I would bounce him on my knees like this and have my hands on his back. And every once in a while I would get a burp out of him. I'm like, okay, cool, And then he start falling asleep. I'm like, well, I'm not going to bounce you on my knees and hold you here if you're going to pass out on me because I don't feel safe doing that. So I would pick him up. Start screaming instantly. The second I moved him, freaked right the fuck out. Like I was abusing the hell out of him or something. Like, boom, right there, once you picked him up, all hell broke loose. So I put him right back down.
How did you pick him up?
I would go like this with him and lift him up like this. So this way my fingers...
How did you pick him up?
I would go like this with him and lift him up like this. So this way my fingers will be underneath his jawline right here. And that way my thumb will be in the back of his head. And that way when I would pick him up, this way I can elevate him nice and slow. And I would always lean with him, and that way I would go like this.
Oh, so he's face down.
Face down.
And you're picking him
that
up
way.
by the chin?
Both of the arms were sprawled out like this. So he would be looking like this. I would be bouncing him nice and gently like this. And he would be almost completely passed out. No crying, no fussing. I don't know why he likes it, but he liked it. So, you know, I'm doing this, and every once in a while I get a burp. Okay, cool. Well, I would pick him up, and I would go like this, because I really don't like picking him up underneath the throat. It bothers me. So I would put my index fingers underneath his chin, and then my fingers behind his head. And that way I could lift him up just like that, and underneath the arms. And that way when I lifted him up, he would have no problem, head was completely secure, and that way he couldn't flop around, and he was all secure, right in my arms. That way, just in case anything happened, I still had control of him, just in case. Because I got 4 scars on my wrist, and my wrist tends to give out. And I told Brittany I don't like holding the baby when my wrist is hurting. She doesn't care. So I hold the baby anyway. And I've almost lost control of the baby 3 times. I'm not even lying about that. It scared the hell out of me. I've gone to Brittany and told her, you gotta take the baby, my wrist is killing me, I can't hold him no more. Well, why not? No, surprisingly, it really didn't. I mean, I work with it completely fine. I mean, the garbage, it weighs more than he does, and I can pick that right up over my head and throw it in the dumpster with no problem. It's just that every once in a while...
This is a baby, though.
Yeah, but out of like nowhere, it just gives out. I mean, my kneecap gives out, my wrist gives out, and...
If we're to give out, could you lose control of doing, let's say you're lifting...
If I had the baby, my wrist was to give out, the way I turn with the baby, I would go like this. If my wrist was to give out, I would cave right in. That's the first thing I do, is I would cave right in.
It's never happened before.
And just go like this, just in case. Because I rather, it's really going to be bad to say this, but I'd rather compress the baby than let the baby be mobile. Because if, in my opinion, if the baby is mobile, then he can roll off me and get hurt. I'd rather kind of like compress him against my body and then lift him up that way to make sure that he's not going anywhere. At least this way he's fine. I mean, I don't know if that's a proper way to do it or not. I don't know. I never taken classes on it. But that's what I do just in case my wrist does give out. Because I don't trust my wrist at all. Even at work, I don't trust it. I've hurt people at work because of my wrist. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of sad. And
How would you hurt people with your... I don't understand that part. I'm sorry.
On the maintenance, since I do maintenance at Kmart and stuff, I take care of all the garbages, and on the maintenance, since I do maintenance at Kmart and stuff, I take care of all the garbages, and I change everything out in the toilets, and I go out, and when you're doing garbages, they tend to get a little heavy, and when my wrist gives out, I'll push the cart away from me without even trying to. It'll bump into somebody, or I'll be changing out the red bins underneath the cash registers, and when my wrist gives out, I'll end up dropping the whole entire red bin everywhere, and it'll bounce off of something and hit somebody or whatever. I've done it a couple of times. Not my brightest moments. Most embarrassing, yes. Brightest, no. But I do apologize for it. Tell them my wrist gave out, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience and whatever have you. I mean, everyone can obviously see the scars on my wrist.
What happened?
That one was from working at Johnny Rockets when I cut myself. That one was when I got cut at a different job site, and that one is when I put my hand through a window when I was 9 or 10. And that one right there is when I got pissed off at one of my exes a couple of years ago, and thought I'd be tough and put my knife through my wrist. Try to get some anger out, and it didn't exactly work. It more or less pissed me off even more, and it made me bleed, and it really hurt. And no, never doing that again. Ever.
A crying baby can be a challenge.
It can, but the way I see it is that it's just the way I see a work day. And you guys will probably think I'm really weird for saying this, but no matter how bad a day can get, it always ends. Always ends. It's always got to stop at one point in time, and no matter how fussy a baby can get, eventually they're going to get tired enough to where they're going to fall asleep again. Or you can feed them, and that's what they want. Or just by holding them, they're quiet. Just the smallest things is what they want. It doesn't bother me to hear a screaming baby. I hear it all day at work. All day at work. So it doesn't bother me. I hear people complain. I hear people moaning, groaning over the stupidest shit. Over $2 whole dollars. That something costs them $2 and they gotta bitch about it. I picked up after kids in the bathroom while they're still in there thinking it's funny. Shitting all over the toilet, and I gotta pick it up. And I gotta clean the bathroom. And they think it's fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Notice how much he wants us to hear the word gently. Nice and gently. Almost passed out. He liked it. There is a physical technique being described in careful detail, and every descriptor around it is soft. A jury will notice that. A judge will notice that. The detectives are noticing it right now.
Pick it up. And I gotta clean the bathroom. And they think it's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I get mad, but I laugh it off. Because the day ends anyway.
Who thinks it's hilarious?
Oh, everyone. Everyone. If I took yesterday off, and I know I'm going to hear it today. I know I am, especially when I go back to work.
Do you think that they look down on you at work because of what you do, or?
Honestly, I really don't know. And, I mean, she's gone in there with the baby on more than one occasion. And, I mean, they all know that we were together. They all know that I was taking care of the baby and everything. And, I mean, one of the girls that works there, she was completely rude to her for no reason at all. And I even told her, I was like, that's just the way she is, you know. She's like, well, that's not even fair. She needs a change. Like, it's just who Brittany is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get used to the way she is and if you're gonna be around her, you know. And at work, it's just different. When I'm at work, I'm there to work. I'm not there to socialize. I'm not there to have, I mean, yeah, we all have fun and whatever, and I talk with them. But when I'm called to a spill, or when I'm called to fix something or do something, I'm all over it. I don't waste any time. I am right there. Just like I told her I would be for that baby. If there's anything wrong with that child, let me know. If I got the money, I'll be there. If you need a babysitter, let me know. If I can do it before work, fine. If not, it's gotta wait until after work. I can't skip out on work because you need a babysitter. I can't do it. You know, and she's like, well, you know, what do I do for a babysitter, you know, if I can't find one? I don't know what to tell you. I can't give you an answer. I have to go to work. I can't just call off because you need a babysitter. The week that she stayed at my sister's house, she needed a ride back and forth, go get WIC, and to go shopping and pick up baby clothes and go pick up baby formula. No one wanted to give her a ride because she didn't have gas money. And she wanted me to stay home with the baby and watch the baby. I can't. I have to go to work. My sister's like, Britt, I gotta go to work. I can't stay here either. You know, like, we both have a full-time job.
I've hurt people at work because of my wrist. That is now on tape. In 3 minutes, he will be back on the baby.
My sister's like, Britt, I gotta go to work. I can't stay here either. You know, like, we both have a full-time job. We cannot stay here. So Brittany was at the house. I get home. She didn't go anywhere for 6 fucking hours. Didn't do anything for 6 hours. And that drove me fucking insane. And I looked at her and said, how can you not get anything done? I said, I'm at work, no formula, no diapers, and no one came to fucking help you? With a 2-month-old baby, no one came to fucking help you. Are you serious right now? You're going to tell me that no one came here to help you with that child? No, because everyone wanted gas money. Why do I not fucking believe that? Why do I not believe that? When you had the fucking stroller in my sister's room, car seats right there, you could have walked your ass anywhere to get help, and you didn't want to do it. Why is that? Because you're fucking lazy. Because you don't want to do anything. You can't hold on a fucking job. And she expects me to fucking bend over backwards. I'm not bending over backwards for anyone unless they fucking deserve it, period. And I'm not going to take responsibility for something I didn't do. I'm not going to go down for someone when they know they did wrong. I mean, I have no problem being there for people and helping people out, but when it comes to this shit, it really does aggravate me and send me over the edge, but I don't get mad at it. I can't get mad, because it's not worth getting mad at.
So she's out at Cumbies, And the baby was, you said, like, I think 15 minutes was kind of fussy.
Within about 15, 20 minutes was kind of fussy.
No, that was like screaming at the top of his lungs kind of thing.
I would hold him, and he would just, I would pat him on the back, just doing whatever I could, and he just leaned his head back and pow, right into my ear, and it was like, oh, come on, bud, you really gotta stop, like, come on, bud, like, come on, you really gotta stop, and he'd do it again and again and again. I'm like, oh. I'm like, I really can't wait for your fucking mom to get here so you can scream in her ear and piss her off. And that's all. I know that's not his fault. It's
but
not
you
his.
laid him out.
I would pick him up the same way that everyone else does. At least that's the way I think everyone else does. I more or less grab him right by the nipple area with my thumbs, and I grab him by the back, and I never go underneath the armpits ever. I was always told never to do that just in case, because the baby could slip right out of your hands. So I don't do that. So when I pick him up off my chest, I had him by the nipple area, and my fingers were completely separated on his back. And I went just like.
The detective's move here is very quiet. He did not pursue the wrist. He let Fosmer explain the workplace injuries, so the wrist stays established in the room, waiting to be brought back to the baby. The detective is not building a case. He is letting Fosmer build it.
I had him by the nipple area, and my fingers were completely separated on his back. And I went just like this, sat him down, laid him down like that, and that way I went like this to his head, turned his head sideways, that way he could breathe. That way I didn't snap his neck, and that way I didn't hurt him. Took his legs, stretched his legs out, and all I do is I put my hands on his back and just went like this. That's all I would do.
Was he still crying?
He was, but after a while, he let out a couple of burps, and then he was still crying, and it got really bad to where I had to stop, because I couldn't tell if he was breathing or not, and I didn't know if I heard him, and I had to check down, and I had to like lift his head up, and there was a pile of drool on my pant leg. I'm like, okay, well, at least I know you're drooling like crazy, and at least I know you're breathing. And he started fussing again, because I stopped.
Was he thrashy?
No, not really. When I bounce him and I'm like this, he's really calm and he's really still. And that's what really scares me, because I didn't know if I heard him or not. Because I didn't know if I crushed his lungs, or if I hurt him, or if I was bouncing him too hard and I hurt his neck or something. I stopped because I was freaked out. I didn't want her coming home, oh, my fucking kid's dead because you don't know how to take care of a baby. No.
Did you think there was a time that he stopped breathing?
Yeah.
Did he stop breathing?
No, because he was just breathing nice and slow, and that's what scared me. Because when I'm bouncing him, I couldn't tell. I was like, okay, yep, and then about a couple minutes go by, I'm like, are you even fucking alive anymore? Like, did I kill you or some shit? And then he was like crying. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're obviously still alive, so apparently I just pissed you off again, and I go right back to doing it. And then he'd constantly drool. And then every once in a while, I hear a burp, or he fart. I'm like, okay, I know that must have hurt. I mean, when you don't go to the bathroom for a couple of days, it hurts. I know it does.
You're right.
You know, constipation sucks. And that's why I asked him, like, how long has he been constipated for? He goes, oh, a couple of weeks. And you don't go get your fucking son checked out when he doesn't take a shit for a couple of days, let alone a couple of weeks? Are you serious?
Was there a time that you thought that he stopped breathing?
Yeah. There was. That's why when I was bouncing like this, I would stop. And I didn't feel anything. I didn't hear anything. I was like, oh.
Did I kill you or something? That sentence, in his own mouth, has now been said in this interview room. He is not being asked whether he killed the baby. He is describing thinking he might have. 10 seconds of footage. Every word of it will be heard in a courtroom.
This, I would stop. And I didn't feel anything. I didn't hear anything. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, fuck, maybe I bounced him too hard. And I just try to remain calm, like, okay, just don't freak the fuck out. Just relax. He's okay. And I would roll him over, and that's when he would freak out, because I moved him. And that's how I knew that he was awake. I had to physically move him in a different position to see if he was okay. I was freaked out. I didn't want to hurt him at all. I didn't want to kill him. I didn't want to fucking do. I didn't get freaked out. I didn't want to hurt him at all. I didn't want to kill him. I didn't want to fucking do. I didn't even want to touch him. I really didn't. I just wanted to leave him there. Honestly, I didn't want to fucking touch him anymore.
Did you think that you hurt him?
Yeah.
How?
Just by bouncing him. I've been told that you can crack ribs, that you can puncture ribs, that you can break their neck, that you can, break their spine even, because they're so fragile. And I'm like, just holding him there and just not feeling anything for a couple of seconds. I was like, he's dead. Like, oh my god, like, I just killed a fucking 2-month-old child. Like, I'm freaking out. Like, I'm like, oh my god, he's dead. Like, oh my god, like, I just killed a fucking 2-month-old child. Like, I'm freaking out. Like, I'm like, oh my god, like, what do I do? So I would roll the baby over, and then he would start freaking out. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, okay, that's a little bit relieved. Now I can go back to bouncing a little bit, you know? And then, you know, I'm bouncing, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, maybe, you know, I'll stop, look down, and he's almost completely out cold. And I know that because I lean over, and I put my hand right next to his mouth. And I feel it. I'm like, okay, cool. I know he's sleeping. Sweet. And then out of nowhere, boom! He wakes right the fuck up because he's not being bounced anymore, and he's pissed. I'm like, okay, well, I know you're mad, so whatever. So I was like, okay, well, you know, maybe you need your diaper changed. Maybe
Was he crying again?
No, he was just kind of like, kind of like being like fussy, like he was trying to go to the bathroom, but he couldn't do it. Kind of like he was trying to push it out, but was just, he just couldn't do it because he didn't have enough strength or something. And I was like, okay, well, either you're trying to go to the bathroom and you can't do it, or you're starting to get fussy again and you're going to start crying. And he kind of made a couple whimpering sounds. I'm like, okay, maybe you want your bottle, maybe you're hungry, you know, you did burp a couple of times, maybe you're hungry. So, you know, I lifted him up like I, you know, always normally do, right from underneath the chin, back to the head, lifted him right up, completely surrounded, and laid him in my shoulders. Just like this, leaned him back down, got him comfortable, and I put the baby, you know, the bottle in his mouth and fed him that way. He took it with no problem. I was like, okay, so I know I burped you a couple of times, so you're not fussy anymore. You're completely okay. You're fine. Sweet. No problem. I've asked Matt and Brittany on more than one occasion what the mark on his shoulder was. It was new to me. I didn't see it before. And it looked just like a fucking 7. Like a 7.
Where was it?
Here is the pattern he has just described 3 times. He bounces. He notices the baby has gone still. He panics that he has killed him. He rolls him over. The baby reacts. He returns to bouncing. This is not a story about one moment. This is a story about a cycle. He is telling the room, in his own voice, that this cycle happened more than once that night.
And it looked just like a fucking 7. Like a 7.
Where was it? I mean, if you use your own shoulder, where did you see it?
Look down, picking him up. He's on his right shoulder, I believe. Roughly right around here.
Okay.
And it looked just like a 7.
So, we'll back up a little bit. So you do the bouncing, and at any time during that, did you feel your wrist give out?
It didn't so much give out, it was going tingly on me, so I know it was going to start acting up, and I got to do that every once in a while to top it, and I was bouncing with one hand, and I had to constantly do this, and then once I felt the top, I was like, okay, cool.
How did you compensate for not having the other hand there? Did you use your body?
I more or less, I really didn't like doing it, but I just spread my fingers out, and I was just going like this, and he was starting to slide, so I was trying to hurry up and really crack I was like, okay, cool, and I would move him back up.
Did he almost go over?
He was starting to, and I stopped him, and my hand was still on his back, and when I noticed he was still starting to go over, I took him by the side of the stomach, and I just gently moved him back. Just didn't squeeze or anything like that, just...
Is he fidgety, though, when you're doing hard to control?
No, he's a really good baby when you move him. He's really not fidgety at all. He has no problem being taken care of at all. He really doesn't, especially being bounced around. For a 2-month-old, he loves being bounced. He really does, and that's what really scares me. And I told her that. I'm like, I really don't like bouncing him, but it's the only thing that he likes. The only thing that makes him fall asleep is being bounced. And that's why she puts him in his bouncer. And she'll rock him back and forth. And his head will constantly go like this. It'll bounce right off the back every time. And he goes to sleep that way.
So you eventually get him back up and cradle him?
I get him back up, cradle him in my arms, put the bottle in his mouth, and I'm holding him there, and he's fine, no problem. And he likes to drink it too fast. And Brittany's noticed it, Matt's noticed it, I've noticed it. He doesn't take his time. And I don't know if I'm putting the bottle too far into his mouth, not far enough in his mouth, but it just seems like he constantly spits up the formula. Constantly. So it's like, okay, so I take it out, I wipe his mouth out, and then he gets cranky again because he took the bottle out of his mouth. So I tried to put it back in his mouth, and then he started whining again, started crying again. And I was like, okay, mommy's going to be back really soon. I fucking hope. And I'm like, it's been a while. It doesn't take that long to walk the tummies and walk back. That's probably going to be a 15, 20-minute walk there, depending on how fast you walk. They really should have been back by now. Really should have.
How were you feeling?
Paranoid. Honestly, because everyone keeps saying that Matt and her have been sleeping around together.
What was bothering you about her not being back?
The fact that I got left with Matt and her have been sleeping around together.
What was bothering you about her not being back?
The fact that I got left with her kid. For her saying it's her kid and that no one else is going to take care of it and this, that, and the other thing.
Did you think maybe something was wrong with the kid?
Not really, because, he's all fine and content, but what really bothered me, and I brought it to her attention, I brought it to Matt's attention, and I think this is why I'm being looked at, honestly, because I said something, but it doesn't bother me because I'm not fucking scared. I asked him, what is that mark on his shoulder? Why is there a mark on his shoulder? And it was only on one shoulder.
How did it come to be you saw that mark? And did you see it before they got home?
No, I didn't see it before they got home. It was probably the next day is when I stopped over at Matt's again, and he had the baby in his arms or was putting the baby down. I can't really remember. And I said, Bud, what's that mark on his arm? He's like, what mark? I'm like, that one right there. What's that, 2 little marks on his arm? I'm like, that looks like a 7. Kind of weird. And Matt looks over at Brittany, and Matt's like, probably from the car seat? She goes, yeah, probably from the car seat. I'm like, are you guys sure that's from the car seat? I'm like, that doesn't look like it's from the car seat. She goes, well, where is it? So it's up by his shoulder blade area. She goes, oh, it's probably from his car seat, it's probably too tight, or someone's probably taking him out too rough. Okay. I know I haven't taken him out of any fucking car seat, let alone out of any car. So, where did the mark come from? And it took her this long to do something about it? Which is what I don't understand. Because Matt even told me yesterday, when Matt came back to the job and told me what happened, because he stopped in earlier and saw me. No, not yesterday, the day before that, because I had yesterday off. Yes, I took yesterday off, which is Monday, so Saturday. I was at work, and Matt comes rushing over to me and goes, hey, we need to talk. I said, about what? He goes, the baby. I said, okay, what about the baby? He goes, the baby's got 2 broken fucking collarbones. Really? Now, how did that happen? Because I wasn't there until Wednesday, bud, so Monday through Wednesday, that's on you guys, not on me. I wasn't even around. So, what's going on now? Within a 3-day span of me not being there, and then 2 days of me being there, all of a sudden, now I've got 2 broken collarbones.
Was Wednesday the day they went to get cigarettes?
Yeah.
And that was the day that you were bouncing?
Wednesday is the day that I had just stopped in to see how Matt was doing. Because Matt didn't get out of the hospital until Monday morning.
You were bouncing on Wednesday, though?
I was bouncing on Wednesday night, yeah.
Okay, so they come home. Was there any talk about any marks on that?
No, I really didn't see anything. Honestly, I was really tired. I was really pissed off because it really took her that long. I was like, what took you so long? It doesn't take you that long to walk there and walk back. And she's like, oh, well, me and Matt so long. It doesn't take you that long to walk there and walk back. And she's like, oh, well, me and Matt were talking, da-da-da, and we were just really talking a lot. I'm like, that's a really long conversation to have then. For that long. Almost an hour walk? That seems kind of weird to me. She goes, what's weird? And Matt's like, what? I'm like, no, I'm not saying nothing, but I'm not just saying, it only doesn't take that long to walk to Cumbries and walk. That's fine. That's all I'm saying. And I really didn't think twice about it, honestly.
Did you tell her the baby was acting up while she was gone?
I told her the baby was fussy every once in a while, and she's like, yeah, tell me something I don't know. And I was like, well, baby was fussing every once in a while, didn't want his bottle. I tried to do everything to calm him down. I was bouncing him on my knees. She's watched me do it. She's watched me bounce to him on my knees. Just be careful. I know. I got this. Don't worry. He's okay. He's not. You hear him freaking out? You hear him crying right now? No, he's fine. You're okay. And that was about it. I was taking care of the baby until they got back. They got back and handed the baby off, and I was like, I gotta go. And she's like, why? I'm like, because I gotta go home. I have shit to do tomorrow. Jessica wants to talk to me. I gotta go home.
Do you know what time you left?
probably around, I would say 10:30ish, because my sister wasn't even home. She ended up staying somewhere else.
So they left about 8:30, got back about 9:30?
They left about 8:30, got back around like 9:30ish, yeah. And then I bounced about an hour later because we were watching a movie. And the baby was completely fine. Completely content. I mean, no problem, not fussy, not nothing.
Where was the baby then when you in the couch or in bed or crib? Did you have a crib for the baby?
No.
Have no crib?
She doesn't have anything for the baby when she's at Matt's house. That's what really bothers me, is that for a 2-month-old baby, she sleeps with him. And that's what really bothers me the most. Because honestly, maybe she heard the baby in her sleep and she doesn't realize it.
Did you want something to drink?
I would love something to drink.
Did you want one of these?
I don't care. I can't afford one right now. I'm broke.
Yeah, we're good. You got it.
Good call, guys. Two-way mirror. I mean, read feet in and only feet out. Good call.
Maybe I bounced him too hard. That is a sentence he offered without being asked to consider it. The detective is not accusing him of anything. He is accusing himself, out loud, while trying to explain that he did nothing wrong. Both of those things cannot be true in the same room, and the room is going to remember which one landed first.
If I was petting him or whatever, he started going like that, I would be like, no, come here, come here, and then just, yep, go right back at it.
What about your wrist?
If my wrist was feeling like it was going to give out, I would just go like this and just keep bouncing him. And if he started going forward, then I would stop and just go like this. And that way I would hold him, and that way he couldn't move. And if, once my hand cracked it back, I worked that, but okay, you're still fine, you're okay. And just keep on going at it. That's all I would do. And then if you burp or whatever have you, or I thought I needed to change him, then I would just simply go like this, put my hand over his, like that, lift him up, set him up, and just cuddle him, just like that, like I normally would. And then I would turn him over and just check his diaper. Simple as that, and then feed him. If he was hungry, I'd try to bottle. If not, then I would just go like this once again, and that way I would lay him back down and go right back at it.
How long did this go on for?
I would do it periodically for about 15-20 minutes, randomly. I just do it out of the blue because I think it really calms him down a little bit. So I would just.
So was it 2 times of 15 minutes, 3 times of 15 minutes?
I would do it for about 10-15 minutes at a shot.
Yeah. How many times?
2-3 times, if that. Nothing too major, nothing too severe to where I didn't really want to cause, neck damage or brain trauma from all the bouncing, or any bodily injuries or anything like that. So I would just, for a little bit, keep going. My legs would be going completely numb, and that's all I'll be doing. It's just, you're okay.
When your wrist gave out, how do you compensate for that?
If my wrist was starting to give out, and my wrist was just completely like, yep, okay, that really hurts, and then I would just gently vibrate it while I'm still holding him in place with my left hand, and I would cuddle my body around my whole entire hand. This way my chest is touching my hand, but my hand's touching him. This way I'm not completely suffocating him. And if I felt like I was, then all I would do is just lean up.
Were you leaning against him harder than that?
No, just like this. Just enough to hold him.
I was just going to say, you described that earlier as...
Like this. Just enough to hold him.
I was just going to say, you described that earlier as compressing him.
Compressing him, holding him down. I really hate using compressing, but I mean it's like the best word to use. I would just hold him down until my hand felt better, and then once it felt better, I would just lean back up and just hold him like that and just keep patting him. I mean, I hate using the word compress because it sounds so dangerous, but it's the only way I know, the best way I can describe it. I would compress his body against mine. Not hard enough to where it would hurt him, but hard enough to where it would be like, okay, you're completely still, you have no movement, you can't move on your own. I have complete control of your body right now. You're completely in my care, you can't move, so you're fine. And then I would lean right back, and I would go right back at it. If I thought my wrist was okay, then it would be fine. If he started slipping, I would be like, no, come on, down on. And then I would go right back at it. And then I would stop. And then, you okay? Yeah, you're okay, okay. And then they would make him pass out completely. Just make him go right to sleep. And then I would, okay. Just make him go right to sleep. And then I would, okay. You're asleep, but whatever. I'll keep going, and that would be about it. I mean,
was there a time you thought the baby was dead?
There is, because I didn't feel anything. And when I stopped to check, I would lean forward like that, and I would move my feet back and forth to make sure that I had different elevation in my legs, because I could tell, because my legs go down instead of going up. My legs would go down, and I would lean forward, and I'm like, okay, I don't like that. I can't tell if he is, so I would put my legs back up, and then I would lift his head up and like, okay, you're okay, you're fine.
Why would you think he was dead?
Because he wouldn't move when I stopped. Like, if I was going like this and bouncing him and everything like that, and then, you know, patting him on the back, he just got so comfortable, and his legs weren't moving, he wasn't doing anything, and it freaked me out. It honestly scared me. That's why I stopped. I'm like, okay, you're not doing anything. Your legs aren't moving. You're not breathing in. You're not doing nothing. So I would just gently lift his head up and be like, okay, well, you know, I don't see anything. And I would listen to make sure he was breathing. And if I couldn't feel anything or tell if anything, I would try and wake him up. I would just rub his back, and I would try to aggravate him enough to make a noise. Try to get him awake. You know, try to make him do something to let me know he was okay.
Did that scare you at all?
It did, because I don't want to lose a baby in my care. Because if that happened to me, then that would happen to if that was my own son, that would kill me. That would destroy me inside and out. And having it just be, I mean, his son, your son, I mean, just having someone else trust me with their kid just proves that they trust me enough to be like a dad. You know, okay, well, you can't, you know, you don't have your own kids, but here's a child that you can treat like your own.
Did you feel like you panicked at all?
I did, and I know I did. I freaked out, and I was like, oh my God, you're not doing anything. Like, what's going on? Like, are you okay? Are you breathing? Like, hey, like, come on, talk to me here. Like, hey, come on. And then, you know, I just roll him over, and I would look into his eyes to make sure that his eyes were moving. At least if I couldn't see him take a breath in or hear it, I could at least see his eyes. If his eyes were at least somewhat moving, then I knew he would still be at least. I really don't like, because I don't know if I knocked him out unconscious, if I shook him hard enough to where, you know, he stopped breathing, if I closed off his air.
The pattern in his own words: bouncing, compressing, legs stop moving, breathing stops registering, panic, reset, return to bouncing. He has now walked the detectives through this cycle 4 separate times. Each time he adds a small new detail. Each time it is more specific. He is not telling a story anymore. He is remembering.
Unconscious, if I shook him hard enough to where, you know, he stopped breathing, if I closed off his airway, I don't know if I did anything wrong or not, and, you know, just like, okay, well, you know, are you still breathing? You know, can you breathe? You know, and he would look at me. And that's how I know, okay, you were fine, you're okay. And I put my hand right back on his butt, and then right back on his back. And then I just start patting him again. And then if he didn't like it, I would stop, cup him, and go just like that. And that way I would feed him or do whatever I needed to do.
How could it be that you felt like maybe you knocked him unconscious?
Because the way that he is that when he moves his head around, it's kind of like a bobblehead kind of motion that he does. And even when you're holding him like this, he kind of looks all the way around and he kind of moves on it and he kind of like snaps his head back and he kind of does this. So it's like you really gotta, it's like, okay, I'm really trying to hold you still right now, but you're kind of like fighting me here. You know, and when he snaps his head back, it really bothers me. It's like, okay, you're doing this on your own, to try and break free my grip, but I don't want you to hurt yourself in the same aspect. So as I'm bouncing him on my knees and stuff, and his head's right here, his head's to the side, you know, and it's his neck's still vulnerable, you know, and it's like, okay, you know, I'm bouncing him. It only takes one bounce to do any damage. And I'm not a doctor. I don't know how severe it would have to be to do that. But I mean, everyone tells me, oh, even doing this can give a baby shaken baby syndrome. I didn't know that. I don't know how hard you have to shake a baby to get shaken baby syndrome. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know the entire thing. You know, and so just shaking him like this, it really scared me because I didn't know if he snapped his neck going down, or if he was looking and it, like cracked his neck or something, or what have you. I just don't know.
Every word he just said is a candidate mechanism for the injury that is on the X-ray. He is not being led. He is offering these mechanisms himself, shook him hard enough, closed off his airway, knocked him out unconscious. The detectives do not need to prove any of these things. They only need Fosmer to keep saying them.
If he was looking and it, like cracked his neck or something, or what have you, I just don't know what was going on. He's so small and so, fragile that anything could happen. I mean, I could crush his lungs or something just by shaking him. I mean, I don't know. So that's why I don't like taking care of babies, but I do, because it gives me the experience to take care of them, but it also freaks me out because I'm not a perfectionist at it. I don't know what to expect. She's got 3 kids total. She's been through it. She knows what to do, what not to do. You're giving someone a 2-month-old who's never had kids in his life, let alone taking care of a baby. And I'm trying my hardest to do what I think is right here. And, I'm trying to burp him and everything else, and, it's like, okay, what do I do? And then he just doesn't move for a little bit. It's like, you're still alive, right? Like, I didn't hurt you, right? Like, okay, you're good. Like, you're okay. And then he would eventually just pass out. And I'm like, okay, you eventually passed out. This is kind of cool. You're sleeping? This works. Okay. So let's see if I can try and lay you down without you freaking out. And then I would try to figure out the best way to roll him over without hurting him. And what I would do is I would take my hand, cup it by his shoulder blade and by his rib cage, and I would take the other hand and I would throw it over like how this one is, and then I would just gently roll him over, and then I would move my hand away from his side and cup his head. And this way I could roll him over and lift him up like that. And this way his head's secure, it's in my shoulder, his whole entire body's fine, and nothing's wrong with him. At least this way, if anything does give out, like my hand does give out, at least this way he's fine, he's curled up in my elbow. At least this way I'm not worried about any neck damage, I ain't got to worry about, dropping him or anything. And that's, the best way I figured that I would, be able to get him, is if I cup him like this and then just gently roll him over. That's the best way I thought to get him to stay asleep without waking him up. Instead of just, oh, come here, now you're fine. No, I'm not going to, do that. At least I don't do that. I don't know what anyone else does, but I rolled him over and cupped him in my arm. I would support the head and everything and do what I needed to do to make sure that the baby was okay. And he was fine. The whole entire time I was doing that. I mean, he was completely and utterly okay. With no problem.
Can I just clear one thing up too? When they left to go to Collarbones Barns, where was the baby?
The baby was on the bed. Okay. I was just getting there, and getting there. It's like, buddy, you're okay. What do I do? What do I do? Like, just stop. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, okay, you know what? If you don't want to be held anymore, I won't hold you. You know what I'm saying? I won't hold you anymore.
You get that feeling, if you don't put them down, you're
if I don't, yes, exactly. And I don't want to do that. So I'm like, you know what? Where's your jumper? Where is that jumper, bud? I grabbed the jumper, put him down, and he was still screaming, but at least this way I can rock him back and forth. And this way I can keep everything in my head just there without freaking out and wanting to snap and just go, you're okay. This is not your fault. You're okay. You're in pain. I can't do anything about it. She'll be back. She'll be back. That's all I could constantly keep on telling myself was that she'll be back. She'll be here. Matt and her will be back. Matt and her will be back. You're okay. Matt and her will be back. And I was just trying to keep myself calm, but it was like, what's taking so fucking long? This does not take so long. What are they doing behind my back? What is going on? She's expecting me to trust her. What the fuck? She's accusing me. I work all day. I fucking do everything for her. It's never good enough. What do I do? And it's like, oh my fucking god. Oh, I just want to fucking snap. And it's like, it's not his fault because I know he didn't do anything. It's like, buddy, you gotta calm down. You know, you just gotta relax. And I stood up, and the window was down. So I looked out the window and I just breathed in. So all I could do was just breathe in. And that still was not helping because I could still hear it in the back of my mind. The screaming and her nagging and all the bullshit that's been going on. It's like, just breathe. It's like, just breathe, bud, just breathe. And I just start getting fidgety and just like, I gotta get out of here. I've got to get away right now. I got to. And that's all I can hear is just screaming and the crying. And it makes me feel so fucking useless because I know he's hurting and I can't do anything about it. And she's not there to help me. It's like, what do I do? How do I stop the kid's pain? How do I make him happy again? How do I stop him from doing this? And it's like, what do I do? And it's just, I can't think of anything. I can't come up with anything in the back of my mind that would do it. And it's like, I can't hurt him because if I hurt him, there's no point to it. Why? It's not his fault. You know, it's not his fault that he's hurting right now. It's not his fault. And I would just sit there and just vibrate my own knees and just sit there and just be so agitated. I was, and I would just be rocking him back and forth, and I would be gentle with him because I know it wasn't his fault. You know, I didn't want to hurt him at all. And it was like, okay, I don't want to hurt you, so I gotta be nice and calm, but I'm aggravated at your mom. I'm like, what do I do here? Okay, I don't want to hurt you, so I gotta be nice and calm, but I'm aggravated at your mom. I'm like, what do I do here? And he'd be in the jumper, and I would just go like this, and he'd still be going at it, and I'm like, buddy, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. I'd hand him this pacifier. He spit it out. Okay, you don't want it. And then he just start freaking out and start crying and screaming, and it's like, oh my god. Pacifier was a bad idea, so I think I pissed you off a little bit more. What do you want? Like, I know you can't talk, so you can't tell me what you want, but what do you want? You know, it's like,
more
what,
frustration.
you know, so I look him in the eye, and it's like, what do you want? You know, just, what do you want? Just, what do you want? Just tell me what, and, you know, I just had to sit there, and I just had to think, and the more I would think, the more I would think about her. And the more I think about her, the more I think about she's doing something behind my back. And the more I think about she's doing something behind my back, the more I get paranoid. The more paranoid I get, the more pissed I get. The more fucking pissed I get. It's like, oh my fucking god, you're leaving me here with your fucking kid. You're not doing anything. You're not fucking working. You're not even trying to help me out with any fucking thing you said you want to do. And it's like, oh my god. And it's just like, if I could just fucking, if I was a female, I could smack your mom. I could. Because I could get away with it. But I'm not. And I can't do that. And I put him in he was already in the jumper, I was like, bud, I can't do this no more, I just can't do this no more. And I'm like, yes I can do this, I can hold out, I can do this, I can hold out, I can do this. And it's just, I just had to constantly talk to myself and just tell me it would be okay. She'll be back. She'll be okay. She's fine. You're okay. You're fine. And it's like, I don't know, and it's all the doubt and everything was like, you gotta calm down, you got the baby here, you can't take it out on the baby because the baby didn't do anything. So, you know, I'm gently, you know, rocking him back and forth.
I'm going to do something that you're going to regret. Say that sentence out loud once, calmly, and listen for what it does to your own chest. He said it in a room with a detective and a camera. He did not stop to reconsider it. He kept going.
Take it out on the baby because the baby didn't do anything. So, you know, I'm gently, you know, rocking him back and forth in the jumper. He's still screaming, still crying. So I'm like, alright, you know what? Let's watch a little bit of movie. And let's watch some TV or something, you know, something that can take my fucking mind off of your screaming and off your mom pissing me off. So I would turn him around, and I did. He was wearing the jumper, and I turned him around, and he was, you know, just like this, and I had it right between my legs, and I was just going like this, and he was just bobbing back and forth, going like that the whole entire time, still screaming, still freaking out. And I'm like, buddy, what do you want? Just what the fuck do you want? Just stop crying, please, just stop crying. And it was just the ear-wrenching noise, like, wow, how does your mother deal with this shit? Like, damn, bud, how does your mom deal with this? Like, okay, I know it's not your fault, you're probably constipated, you're trying to burp or fart or something, and it's just not stopping, you know, just getting there, and it's like, where the fuck is your mother? It just gets to that point where I had to lock him in the jumper, because it snaps on one side. So I locked him in, and I got up, and I just walked by the TV, and I stood in the doorway. I turned around so I could see him just in case, and I stand there. And as he was sitting there, I was just standing there, and I was like, oh my fucking God, bud. I'm so glad I don't have any kids. I'm just so glad I don't have any kids. And that's all I could tell myself. I'm like, buddy, I don't know what to do. And he's looking at me screaming and crying, and it's like, buddy, I don't know what to do. You know, where do I go? Like, you can't tell me what you want. Your mom's not here to help me out. And it's like, Matt's not here to even, you know, tell me what to think about helping you out. You know, and it's like, what the fuck do I do? Tell me what I do. And it's like, I was like,
Maybe they were a little too tight, or I sat down too hard. The word they refers to the straps of the jumper. Down refers to the pressure with which he placed the infant in it. Both collarbones are fractured. The mechanism for a symmetric bilateral clavicle fracture in a 3-month-old is external compressive force applied through the shoulders. Read those 2 sentences again.
what? Did she quit? Did she get fired? It's just, everything was just fucking balling up inside me, and it's like it's never good enough. No matter what I do, it's just never good enough for anybody or anything. And it just got to me like, he doesn't even know what the fuck I'm even going through. And yet he's got this ahead of his life. He has still have yet to imagine what I'm going through right now because of bullshit in my life. And that's when I really had to think back, because the walk that I had from picking him up from Glens Falls to South Glens Falls, he was quiet the whole entire way there because he was already passed out. And I was talking to him about life, and I was like, buddy, you have no idea yet. I was like, life sucks. I was like, you have no idea. And I was like, it really doesn't suck, it's just what you make of it. I was like, people bitch and they complain, they moan and groan about their life sucking. It's only sucking because they want it to. And I felt so much better talking to him. It made me feel better. Just walking back to the house, talking with him, even though he was sleeping, it didn't matter to me. Because I knew he was still there to listen, you know, I knew I could talk to him, and he was listening but not listening, you know, I was like, I know he's hearing me, and I'm getting it out as I'm walking, and I feel so much better talking to someone about this. And he was so sad because I had talked to a fucking 2-month-old who was sleeping for me to talk. And I can't talk to anybody about how I feel. And it took a 2-month-old for me to release stress. And when he was just crying and wouldn't stop, it just got there, and I was like, wow. I am so not ready. I'm
I
not
have
ready.
classes for that stuff, though, when you get ready. Parenting classes and how to handle kids crying, things like that.
Therapy, things like that. There's a lot of things that
How to handle kids crying, things like that.
therapy, things like that. There's a lot of things that
And I was going through therapy in high school for my anger. And I know I have a really bad anger problem, and I had to walk away.
Is this what happened the last time too?
No. When I was with Alexis and all that went down, nobody really knows what happened, and I told him all point blank, I'm not the one to look at. You know, if he's 2 years old, you know, he gets hurt, he's a kid. It's not that severe, you know, so apparently somebody hit him hard enough to do that. You know, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that no matter how pissed off I am. I will walk away first. I will not hurt a child because it's not their fault. I would rather fight a full-grown man that can defend himself than to take it out on a fucking 2-year-old or a 2-month-old who can't do anything about it. And that's exactly what I told her. So if you honestly think I hit your fucking son, you have another thing coming. I'd rather have hit you than hit your son. She goes, oh, I thought you didn't hit women. I said, I don't. I said, but it beats hitting a fucking kid any day of the week. So I'd rather lose your respect and be called a fucking woman beater than be called a child abuser. Kid any day of the week. So I'd rather lose your respect and be called a fucking woman beater than be called a child abuser any day of the week. So if I hit you once, fine. At least I feel better. At least I know I didn't hurt your child. I might have hurt you. You can defend yourself. Even though you're a female and it's not right, you can still defend yourself. So your son's fucking 2 years old. He can't do anything. This fucking baby is 2 months old. He cannot do anything to defend himself. And it's not right to take anger out on someone who cannot defend themselves. And I had to walk away. Before I snapped on him. Either snap on him or snap on myself. And I'm not going to do it to him. And that's... I had to look him in the eye. And I had to beg myself not to hurt him. And I had to tell myself it's not his fault. And he was looking at me in the eye like, I can't help it, I'm sorry. And I looked at him and said, but it's not your fault. And he had just that look in his eye like, I'm sorry. Like, don't hate me, I'm sorry. And that killed me. If I knew I hurt him, that would hurt even more than the look he gave me. And just the look alone was enough to fucking kill me. I couldn't even look him in the eye after that. I had to walk away. Before I did hurt him.
He has now, twice, contrasted hitting a woman against hitting a child, as though those are the two options a room might place in front of him. Nobody in the room placed those in front of him. He generated the choice himself and then walked us through his answer to it. The detectives are listening.
Before I did hurt him. And I'm glad I walked away. I'm glad I ignored him and hurt him. And I know I probably really, really would have hurt him if I didn't walk away. And I had to walk away. I had to. I did not want to hurt him because it was not his fault. And just the look he gave me just... I was hurting already by walking away. I feel like a piece of shit for it so bad. I didn't want to hurt him, so I walked away. I had to. Did not want to hurt him.
Did you feel like you were in total control when you were putting him into the jumper, or did you feel pretty angry? I mean...
I felt that I wanted to get him out of my arms as fast as possible before I did hurt him, because I knew I was getting to that point where I just couldn't fucking take it, and I just wanted to do something so bad I was going to regret it. So I tried to put him down in there as gently as I could, as safely as I thought I did, and as safely as I thought I could. I put him down, I put the jumper thing over him, locked him in, And I just looked at him, and just his eyes are low.
The syntax there is worth stopping on. Before I did hurt him, not before I could hurt him, not before I would hurt him, before I did. His own grammar has just tilted, and no detective moved it. Sit with that for one beat.
And I just start getting fidgety and just like, I gotta get out of here. I got to get away right now. I got to. And that's all I can hear is just screaming and the crying. And it makes me feel so fucking useless because I know he's hurting and I can't do anything about it. And she's not there to help me. It's like, what do I do? How do I stop this kid's pain? How do I make him happy again? How do I stop him from doing this? And it's like, what do I do? And it's just, I can't think of anything. I can't come up with anything in the back of my mind that would do it. And it's like, I can't hurt him, because if I hurt him, there's no point to it. Why? It's not his fault. You know, it's not his fault that he's hurting right now. It's not his fault. And I would just sit there and just vibrate my own knees and just sit there and just be so agitated. I was, and I would just be rocking him back and forth, and I would be gentle with him, because I know it wasn't his fault. You know, I didn't want to hurt him at all. And it was like, okay, I don't want to hurt you, so I gotta be nice and calm, but I'm aggravated at your mom. I'm like, what do I do here? And he'd be in the jumper, and I would just go like this, and he'd still be going at it, and I'm like, buddy, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. I'd hand him this pacifier. He spit it out. Okay, you don't want it. And then he just start freaking out and start crying and screaming, and it's like, oh my God. Pacifier was a bad idea, so I think I pissed you off a little bit more. What do you want? Like, I know you can't talk, so you can't tell me what you want, but what do you want? You know, it's like,
more
what,
frustration.
you know, so I look him in the eye, and it's like, what do you want? You know, just, what do you want? Just, what do you want? Just tell me what, and, you know, I just had to sit there, and I just had to think, and the more I would think, the more I would think about her. And the more I think about her, the more I think about she's doing something behind my back. And the more I think about she's doing something behind my back, the more I get paranoid. The more paranoid I get, the more pissed I get. The more fucking pissed I get. It's like, oh my fucking God, you're in here with your fucking kid. You're not doing anything. You're not fucking working. You're not even trying to help me out with any fucking thing you say you want to do. And it's like, oh my God. And it's just like, if I could just fucking, if I was a female, I could smack your mom. I could. Because I could get away with it. But I'm not. And I can't do that. And I put him in he was already in the jumper, I was like, bud, I can't do this no more, I just can't do this no more. And I'm like, yes I can do this, I can hold out, I can do this no more, I just can't do this no more. And I'm like, yes I can do this, I can hold out, I can do this, I can hold out, I can do this. And it's just, I just had to constantly talk to myself and just tell me it would be okay. She'll be back. She'll be okay. She's fine. You're okay. You're fine. And it's like, I don't know. And it's all the doubt and everything was like, you gotta calm down. You got the baby here. You can't take it out on the baby because the baby didn't do anything. So, you know, I'm gently, you know, rocking him back and forth in the jumper. He's still screaming, still crying. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's watch a little bit of movies. And let's watch some TV or something. You know, something that can take my fucking mind off of your screaming and off your mom pissing me off. So I would turn him around, and I did. He was wearing the jumper, and I turned him around, and he was, you know, just like this, and I had it right between my legs, and I was just going this, and he was just bobbing back and forth, going like that the whole entire time, still screaming, still freaking out. And I'm like, buddy, what do you want? Just what the fuck do you want? Just stop crying, please, just stop crying. And it was just the ear-wrenching noise, like, wow. How does your mother deal with this shit? Like, damn, bud. How does your mom deal with this? Like, okay, I know it's not your fault. You're probably constipated. You're trying to burp or fart or something. And it's just not stopping. You know, just getting there. And it's like, where the fuck is your mother? It just gets to that point where I had to lock him in the jumper because it snaps on one side. So I locked him in, and I got up, and I just walked by the TV, and I stood in the doorway. I turned around so I could see him just in case, and I just had to stand there. And as he was sitting there, I was just standing there, and I was like, oh my fucking God, bud. so glad I don't have any kids. I'm just so glad I don't have any kids. And that's all I can tell myself. I'm like, buddy, I don't know what to do. And he's looking at me screaming and crying, and it's like, buddy, I don't know what to do. You know, where do I go? Like, you can't tell me what you want. Your mom's not here to help me out. And it's like, Matt's not here to even, you know, tell me what to think about helping you out. You know, and it's like, what the fuck do I do? Tell me what I do. And it's like, I was like,
Watch what he does with pronouns here. He is fighting himself out loud. I can't do this. Yes, I can. Hold out. Every one of those sentences implies a moment in the past where holdout was in question. Every one is a small confession that the fight was real.
just put it down.
You think
So
right there's some pressure,
No, because I had like this the whole entire time.
and your arms are tensing up.
My hands were just getting tense, and I'm like, I can't do this. I just can't do this. So I turned him around, put his body against mine like this, and I just put him in the jumper, and I just strapped him in. I just got the fuck up, and I had to walk away. I had to walk away. If I did, I knew I was gonna fucking regret it. And
You were saying earlier something about taking his arms.
when
in the
I
jumper.
put him in the jumper, his arms were up, and I didn't want him to hurt himself by flailing all over the place. So I took my thumb and I was like, buddy, okay, you know, you're still screaming, and you know, I was like, he's waving his arms around, you know, like, you know, he doesn't want to be in here, you know, he's trying to like grab at me, and I'm like, buddy, you can't do that, you know, I gotta get away from you. I'm just gonna snap on you if I don't. And it's not your fault. I'm just really pissed off at everything that's going around. And I'm like, and he's just like trying to like reach for me, kind of, you know, like trying to like pull me down to him, and it just seemed kind of weird. You know, that it was like he was trying to like claw his way out. And I'm like, buddy, you can't do that. So I took my thumb and my hand, and I grabbed him by the arm, and I gently, and he was willingly to do it. He coerced himself like this, and I just put his arms down at his side. Just put his arms down at his side, and he was just sitting there, and out of nowhere, he's just down at his side, and he was just sitting there. And out of nowhere, he just started moving his arms again, and it was like, buddy, I can't let you out. I can't hold you. I don't trust myself enough to hold you right now.
So what happened?
I looked down, and he was just flailing his arms, and I was like, if you want to flail your arms, then flail your arms. I'm not going to force you to be in a position you don't want to be in. You know, it's bad enough I put you down because I don't trust myself. So he was trying to get out of the jumper, and I had locked it in there so he couldn't get out, and he was just like trying to grab at it, like he would a shirt and just latch on, and he was just, and I know he doesn't have the strength to unlatch it, and I know he's not even doing it from the right area, so I know he's okay, but with both arms, he's just not, you know, he's in there just grabbing at it, and grabbing at the plastic, just grabbing at it. And I just had to stand there, and I was like, grab away. Just grab away, buddy, because if you don't, I will. And I can't do that to you. You know, I had to walk away. I was like, I can't hurt you.
Was that the way that you were sitting, too?
The jumper itself is right here in front of me. And it leans back a little bit to where you can actually pretty much like slide him in.
Yeah.
So as I'm like trying to put him in there.
With him with his arms, you're sitting behind him like this?
Yeah, I'm in the chair right behind him, and I slid him right in, and that was it. And then I buckled him in, and that was it. That was the whole entire thing.
Was he thrashing?
He was kicking a little bit because he knew he was gonna get put down, but it wasn't so bad to where it wasn't so bad to where it was like an anger temper tantrum. But it was more or less like, oh, come on, like, you know, like a baby kicks when they don't want to get dressed. Like, he was kind of like, oh, come on, don't put me down, like, come on. You know, I'm like, buddy, you gotta go down. I gotta walk away. I just have got to walk away. And, you know, I'm trying to put him down like this, and I'm putting him down, and I'm like, buddy, you just gotta stop, just stop, just stop, just stop. And he just won't stop. I'm like, either you stop or I'm gonna make you stop. And it was that thought right there, make you stop. That's what scared the shit out of me. It was just the thought of make you stop. And once I thought about it, I actually said it. And that's what scared me even more. I was like, I'm going to make you stop. And I just couldn't even fucking breathe at that point. I couldn't breathe. I was like, I need to get away from you before I hurt you. And I know it's not your fault. I just need to get away. I have to get away. And I had to walk away from him.
Is that how you set him in the jumper? By...
I didn't grab him by his arms because I know that was... I know because people told me that if you grab baby by the arms, you can dislocate the arms, or you can even break them, or anything like that. So...
In a perfect world, yeah. But
yeah.
When you have a baby that's thrashing, sometimes it's...
I know, and it's just... And I was just like, buddy, you gotta stop. Buddy, you gotta stop. And as he's still going, I'm like, alright, you know what, I'm just gonna put you down. So I try to hold him with one arm, and he's just, you know, kind of like fidgety, and I'm like, buddy, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. So I move my left hand away from him, and I put my...
The phrase he just used is, my thumbs being on his nipples. That is the placement of his thumbs against the front of a 3-month-old's chest, one thumb on each side, over the sternum. Both clavicles are fractured. A bilateral clavicle fracture on a 3-month-old is consistent with anterior compression through the shoulders, pressure applied inward, from both sides, at once. The detectives did not describe this mechanism. Fosmer did.
I'm down, and I'm like, buddy, you just gotta stop, just stop, just stop, just stop. And he just won't stop. I'm like, either you stop or I'm going to make you stop. And it was that thought right there, make you stop. That's what scared the shit out of me. It was just the thought of make you stop. And once I thought about it, I actually said it. And that's what scared me even more. I was like, I'm going to make you stop. And I just couldn't even fucking breathe at that point. I couldn't breathe. I was like, I need to get away from you before I hurt you. And I know it's not your fault. I just need to get away. I have to get away. And I had to walk away from him.
Is that how you set him in the jumper? By...
I didn't grab him by his arms because I know that was... I know because people told me that if you grab baby by the arms, you can dislocate the arms, or you can even break them, or anything like that. So...
In a perfect world, yeah. But
yeah.
When you have a baby that's thrashing, sometimes it's...
I know, and it's just... And I was just like, buddy, you gotta stop. Buddy, you gotta stop. And as he's still going, I'm like, alright, you know what, I'm just gonna put you down. So I try to hold him with one arm, and he's just, you know, kind of like fidgety, and I'm like, buddy, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. And he just won't stop. I'm like, either you stop or I'm gonna make you stop. And it was that thought right there, make you stop. That's what scared the shit out of me. It was just the thought of make you stop. And once I thought about it, I actually said it. And that's what scared me even more. I was like, I'm gonna make you stop. And I just couldn't even fucking breathe at that point. I couldn't breathe. I was like, I need to get away from you before I hurt you. And I know it's not your...
Once I thought about it, I actually said it. He is telling the room, out loud, that he moved from the thought to the words. He has not yet told the room whether he moved from the words to the action. That is the last remaining question, and the detectives are about to walk toward it.
As I could. But there's always been a doubt in my mind ever since Matt told me it. Maybe I did hurt him. Maybe it was me. But I didn't even try. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
So on Thursday, is that when the talk came about the mark on the shoulder? Or was that Wednesday?
That was Thursday, I believe.
Did you work Thursday?
Yeah, I worked Thursday.
What happened that night?
I got out of work, went back to the house. Baby was fine. She was fine. Matt was okay. It was a really good day. And Matt was going to change the baby, and I was like, "Boy, what's that mark on his arm from?" He goes, "What mark?" I was like, "That one right there." And he's like, "I don't know." He's looking over at Brittany. He's like, "Do you know what that's from?" And she's like, "Well, how big is it?" I'm like, "It's not that big. I mean, it looks like a couple of pinch marks." And she's like, it might be from the car seat being too rough. I'm like, from the car seat? She goes, yeah, from the straps. You know, sometimes they rub and, you know, sometimes they pull down a little bit, and that's what causes the bruising. I'm like, oh, okay.
What did you think it was? Do you think
I was going by what she said, because I had never seen anything. I mean, it was so small, and it was just on the one arm. I thought that maybe, you know, he was trying to reach for something, you know?
Can
I mean,
you show us where it was?
it was about right here, right there on his arm.
It looked like you said earlier, number 7.
It looked like a 7, kind of like a 7. Like it was, like you could tell it was like two or three dark marks, but it looked like right in the middle of it, it was like a light yellow kind of mark. Like it was kind of like getting like connected.
This is a test question. The detective already has the timeline. He is not asking because he needs the information. He is asking because he wants to see whether Fosmer will place the shoulder mark on the same day the hospital saw it, or a different day. Fosmer places it on Thursday. The hospital saw it Sunday night. That gap is now in the file. I don't even deserve to live if I hurt that boy. That is not a denial. That is a conditional. He has just put the condition in the room and left it there.
I didn't trust myself. I really don't. I didn't trust myself then. I still don't trust myself now to be around either one of them. And that's why I went home, and that's why I walked away. Because I honestly don't know if I did or not. And if I did, I don't even deserve to fucking live if I hurt that baby. And that's what hurts the most, is knowing the fact that I could. And that's what hurts the most, is knowing the fact that I could have hurt the baby. Without even trying. And I don't know if I did or not. And that's why I can't admit to doing it, because I don't know if I did or not. I tried to handle it the best way I could, and I don't believe I squeezed too hard. I don't believe I sat him down too rough. I think I did exactly what I had to do to try and take care of him the best way I could, as safely as I could. But there's always been the doubt in my mind ever safely as I could. But there's always been the doubt in my mind ever since Matt told me it. Maybe I did hurt him. Maybe it was me. Without even trying. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
So on Thursday, is that when the talk came?
The detective does not close on it. He does not have to. It will hold on its own. I don't believe I squeezed too hard. I don't believe I sat down too rough. Those are two separate mechanisms he has just introduced by denying he used them. He introduced the words squeezed and sat down himself. Denial by naming is one of the oldest interview tells. He is doing it now. Christopher Fosmer sat in that room for 3.5 hours. Nobody accused him of hurting the 3-month-old. The detectives asked him about work. They asked him about family. They asked him about his girlfriend. They asked him about Wednesday. And Fosmer, on his own, offered the language of every mechanism the hospital had already put on paper. He bounced. He compressed. He held down until his hand felt better. He put his thumbs on the boy's chest. He said, out loud, "I'm going to make you stop." He said, out loud, "I don't know if I did or not." And he said, out loud, "I don't even deserve to live if I hurt that boy." The 3-month-old survived. He was released from Glens Falls Hospital and placed in the temporary custody of social services. He has a name. We are still not going to say it, but he is out of that room now. He is somewhere quieter, somewhere with people who are not trying to figure out how to hold his head so it stops moving. Christopher Fosmer was charged by the Warren County Sheriff's Office with 1 count of felony assault and 1 count of misdemeanor endangering the welfare of a child. He was arraigned in Queensbury Town Court and remanded to Warren County Jail on $20,000 bail. which he did not post. The 3-month-old was released from Glens Falls Hospital and placed in the temporary custody of social services. No verdict on the felony assault charge has been entered on the record at the time of this recording. Anything past this point in the case remains open. If this kind of analysis is what you're looking for, subscribing means you'll see the next one.